right. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back here to another live stream. Yesterday was a little rough. It was hard for me to do the live stream. Yesterday was just a crazy, crazy day, but we're back at it today. We got the Crypto Breakfast Club coming at you live after this one as well, 9:30 to 11:30. In the live stream today, guys, we're going to talk about the potential for a crypto pump. I feel like things are shifting, changing in the right direction. You know, crypto's been very, very boring as of late. And we know one thing about crypto, it doesn't stay boring for very long. Usually where, there are these lag periods in the market, they're usually followed by some fireworks. And I think we're getting probably closer and closer to having some of those fireworks. And let's dive into it, right? Let's talk about it in this video, in this live, and go through some of the top plays, top 100 plays, go through some meme coins we're trading. So here on these live streams, we like to cover a lot of the crypto news, the macro, what's impacting the markets, some of the outside sources that are influencing and impacting crypto, but also things that we're trading right now, things that we're looking at. So appreciate everybody here being with us this morning. Let me know that you are in the house. I see some people filing in already. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way in. We got Tyler in the house. Let's go Shiba Inu to the moon. What's going on, guys? What's happening? Good morning. Robert is here. Chris is here. Yes, bro. What's this Gary Gensler is going to be Kamala Harris? So basically, there's rumors that she would make Gensler Treasury Secretary. Obviously, that would not be good for crypto, but we shall see. I mean, right now, just rumors. Good morning, Big Z. What's up, EMAC? Cam's coming in from Australia. We got Bina in the house. I'm proud our YouTube lives are back. Yes, Joseph, we are back at it. Appreciate you, man, for being here. Good morning and greetings from London. What's up, Sam? Shane, good morning. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? I'm just getting caffeinated, so we're just getting started on that. But yeah, a lot to get into, guys. A lot to get into. We've been talking. I want to start talking a little bit about some of the large caps. We were talking about Brett, underneath a $800 million market cap. And I thought that was a phenomenal opportunity on Brett. We're seeing Bitcoin pump a little bit, up 4%. A lot of people were calling for a little bit of a crypto pump to start the day. We're getting that right now. Ethereum moving up as well, but Bitcoin doing its thing right now, getting close to $61,000. But when we sort by the top 100, look what number one top gainer is. It's Brett, up 24%. I just recently made a video. I just tweeted out this. Oh, here's the video. This was 2 days ago. Brett looks like a great opportunity right now, under an $800 million market cap. Just put this out on X 2 days ago, late at night, and here we go, right? We were about a $750 million market cap when I launched this tweet, and just looking at it, thought it was a great entry, great opportunity, either for short-term or long-term, really. And now we're seeing Brett back up to a $925 million market cap. Really nice surge here out of Brett, and I still think there's a lot of room to run here with Brett just under $1 billion market cap, guys. We have not reached altcoin season. Nowhere near it. And it's going to be led by Ethereum, in my opinion. And you start to look at some of the ERC20 tokens. You start to look at, what's underneath Ethereum that's directly tied. Good morning, Don. Yeah, great meeting you, brother. Great meeting you. Roll Tribe too, man. Great to meet you in Toronto. Let's get this crypto rocking. Yeah, I met so many great people in Toronto. It was great running into you, Don. Appreciate you. It was a great time, man. Awesome week there in Toronto. But we're thinking about what's tied to Ethereum. What are some of the things that are going to be directly correlated with an Ethereum pump when we get it? And really what we want to see is Ethereum to break away from Bitcoin a little bit, some capital to flow outside of Bitcoin into Ethereum, which then trickles down into altcoins in general, right? That's what we're waiting for. When that happens, I think we're going to see things like Shib, like Pepe, like Brett 3 of the best ERC20 tokens, or at least Ethereum-based tokens, because, you know, Brett is on Base, the other just on the Ethereum main chain, but all tied to Ethereum. I think that's going to be very, very fun to watch when we get that Ethereum rally. What's going to happen to some of these smaller cap cryptos that are tied to Ethereum? I think Brett is new. It's fresh, has a lot going for it within the Coinbase ecosystem. I think it's going to be a big, big mover and shaker. I'm thinking a 10 to 20x here still with Brett at a $1 billion market cap going to 10, 20 billion. I could see that. Oh, getting some coffee in there. There we go. So that's definitely a nice little lead story there. We've also got a couple other meme coins up here making some nice moves today. Pepe, Floki, and Whiff all up here. Aave, not a meme coin there, but one of the top movers and shakers here. Beam within the gaming sector. We've got Arweave within digital storage. Tron just got some interesting news. That's why it's on a little bit of a pump. We've got the ASI token, or FET, moving up a little bit, back up to 88 cents. Good to see there. And then we've got Stacks and Sui, 2 of our favorites here. Avalanche, Polygon, Algorand, all up over 6% today. So good little start to the morning here for the markets at large. And definitely means we're getting some spillover within the meme coin market too. Taking a look at Shib's price, because I know a lot of you guys coming in here to see what Shib's doing. We are still trending sideways here, very much consolidating here on the Shib chart, have been for about 2+ weeks now. We're still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen here. Are we going to get some type of breakout from Shib? You know, we're still kind of trending in this range. What we really want to see is getting over like the 14.35 level, staying above it, closing above it, and then I think we could see a little uptrend here for Shiba Inu as well. We are still up 29% year to date, but down here in the last couple months for Shib, coming off some highs that we set way back in March, where we went up over 100%. So that was a big move for Shib. Now, real quick, before we take a look at some meme coins, take a look at some news. If you guys are interested and intrigued by leverage trading, or you maybe already are a leverage trader and you're not signed up yet with Margex, the links are down below. You can register now using my link, claim up to $10,000 in bonuses. And when you sign up today, you're going to get 21% off your first trade. They also have some free airdrops. They've got copy trading, a lot of great things here with Margex. Link down below, guys, if you are interested in that. I've got my trading indicator as well, which we've talked about for over a year now. This is a great tool to use, great tool to have here ahead of the altcoin season bull run, so you can get in and out of trades easier and have good exit strategies set in place. Great tool to have by setting up your customized alerts. I walk you through how to do it and use it. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. These prices are slashed when you use the discount code that's linked in the description of this YouTube video. If you're on X, the description is not there, but the coupon code is XT for 21% off. All right, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at some meme coins. We've had these guys on the channel before. A little meme coin on Solana pumping like crazy here called Sheesh. We've had these guys on the Crypto Breakfast Club. Look at the comeback here we're seeing from Sheesh, back up over $1 million market cap. Still a tiny market cap, but looking really good. One of our top gainers. We still hold a little position here. We took some profits, but we did keep a moon bag. And this is why you do it. This is why you keep a little moon bag. Look at this. Look at this surge we're experiencing on Sheesh here, coming off some really nice runway here the last 6-7 days. It's been up and up here for Sheesh on Solana. So that's been an interesting, nice little comeback story. Nice little meme coin here on Sol. We got a super chat here. Let's handle this. How does Turbo look for the next few days? Let's jump right to it. We'll take a look at Turbo. We still do have a little bit in that position as well. Got in kind of late to Turbo, but I still like it overall. Still looks pretty solid. Yeah, very much consolidating right now. It's really going to depend on the market. If we get an Ethereum breakout, we'll get a Turbo breakout. That's really what it comes down to. But all in all, they're hanging in there. Looks pretty strong. sitting on you know, some nice little consolidation pattern right now, nice sideways action. I think we're getting ready for a big move, either up or down. And as long as the market cooperates, you know, and Ethereum looks solid, Turbo being tied to it is going to look really, really good. So definitely like it. Johan, thank you so much for the super chat, and much appreciate that. Zach, do you think that the departure of Shytoshi and Call from Shib and their recent Nairo endorsement will impact the project long term? I did not see that they departed. Is that true that they departed from the project? I did see that, you know, they have backed Nairo, which I really like too. I never am somebody who's a maxi who only is into one thing. I follow where the money goes. You know what I mean? That is not the right Shytoshi. Let's see. I did not see that they left everything. I did not see that. Okay, here's the actual. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that says they left Shib. I think it's more about they're just endorsing Nairo, right? As well. That's what I'm gathering. Where was this reported that they're leaving by the end of the year? I did not see this. Unless I missed it, which happens. So let's see here. Plans to step down in his role by the end of the year. This revelation came during a recent episode of the AB Modulus podcast, where Kusama and fellow developer Call discussed their intentions to hand over control of the project to its community. Well, I don't think this is terrible here. I mean, it's a move to complete decentralization. That's kind of what Ryoshi did anyway. Okay, so it was on that most recent tweet right here. So nowhere in there did they say they're leaving necessarily, but yeah, they would be taking a lesser role. Okay, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to refrain to respond to that because I don't know if that's 100% accurate. I haven't seen necessarily Shytoshi say that they're leaving by the end of the year. And is this the only article that's reporting this? Now, there are a couple here. Bitcoin SU today. I just have not listened to the full interview here. But if other people can add some context here, I did not. I'm not going to buy this completely yet. But if they did, it's not necessarily the end of the road, right? They're stepping down to basically create true decentralization, which I don't think is a bad thing. Can you talk about XRP and XLM? Where would they go this month before September? It's hard to know where they're going to go in the short term, but for me, it's just a long-term play. Both of them are very intriguing. I like XRP more than I like XLM, for all the reasons that I've outlined in all my XRP videos over weeks and months and years, why it's a long-term play for me. He said it in a video, handing over to the community. Did he say specifically by the end of the year? I mean, this video did not say that. I just watched that. So where is that video that he said that? Is it in the actual Spotify podcast? Maybe it's in the full version. Have to go back and watch the full thing. I have not listened to the full breakdown, guys. Let's take a look at some of the other movers here in the markets. And if you guys have more insight, more info on that, I will be looking at the chat. So definitely hit me up with that. Let's take a look at, this is Ginin on Solana, $22.5 million market cap, up 43% today, starting to bounce back. This is the 3-day chart. So for the last 3 days, slowly but surely building back up. They're on a nice support line here. I'm looking at Ginin, similar to Nairo right now. Two very good projects coming out of the gate that I think do have some legs here. Nairo slowly coming back up too on a nice support line. Both of these projects have high volume, good holder bases, good holder counts. But yeah, Nairo looks really good here. Last 3 days starting to build back up. Looking to maybe, I think, break out again here from this pattern. So we'll definitely be watching this. A lot of this will hinge on Ethereum, the overall market. As long as we get some good sentiment in the markets here. And, we need like a good week in the markets. We need a good week. We need a good week. And I think we can see some of our, really big meme coins that we're heavy into go up and touch all-time highs or even surpass them. So I am looking at Ginin. Am looking at Nairo for sure. Really like Nairo just because the community is massive. 19,000 holders now, 5 million in volume still. Looks really good. Looks really good. One second, guys. Yeah, this narrative super strong too. We've talked about this turning into be potentially the Shiba Inu or Dogecoin of this cycle. A lot of similar faces helping the project. A lot of people from Brett community as well, heavily invested and very vocal here in the project. So this, to me, a meme coin that just launched the end of July, not even a month old. A lot of promise. 153 million market cap right now. Love these kind of entry points in what I think has potential to get to $1 billion and beyond here. Love these kind of areas, in the market to find these meme coins that are on their way to $1 billion that have already solidified themselves. So this one is definitely one that I'm very bullish on right now. Nairo and Ginin, a little smaller one here in Ginin that's 23 million, but similar story, right? Almost 13,000 holders, really good volume as well. A lot of big whales coming from other big communities in Solana. So like both of these quite a bit. This is a private investment I'm in right now, guys. TARS AI still looks really strong last 2 days. Nice bounce. Looking to break out of some consolidation here. If we get, back up to 17 cents, this could look really interesting. I think the floodgates open to set all-time highs and set back up there at 26 cents. We're about halfway there right now. Current price levels sitting just under 17 mil, 23,000 holders almost. Great volume here on TARS AI. This is on Solana. They're backed by Solana. Really good AI project that I like. So there's that. TokenFi has been a day one investment of mine for a while. TokenFi is on a nice little pump today, trying to break out of its consolidation phase. This is in the RWA space. Landwolf on Solana still looking pretty strong here. Nice bounce back day. We did break some key support here, so we're watching this one, but still has a strong narrative. 45,000 holders should not be anything you should ignore. Really good volume here still too. Kind of fits into the overall narrative we've been talking about for a while too. So the only thing I worry with this one is it broke support. It broke support back in early August, August 5th, 6th, right around there. Doesn't mean it can't recapture some of what it lost here, but it's just going to be a little bit more difficult, maybe a little bit longer of a road for us to get back up there. This is another one that had a crazy parabolic run end of July. This is Moo. 109 mil right now, but it shot up to like 300 plus mil, I think, at one point. Same thing here, though. Broke support, so we're kind of waiting to see. I'd like to see it get back to like the 4.6, 4.7, which we're kind of there. We're almost there. But we need to close above that for me to get really excited about the potential here that this one has. To make a little run, which I do think it'll come, but I just don't know when. Let's see. What else do we got here? Surprisingly, Bone and Shib never really pumped during ETHEREUM. Although it was kind of a crappy time in the market with Ethereum and everything. So I still think Bone is very, very undervalued here. Ponky's another one I really, really like. Sitting at 30 cents right now. It's definitely sitting on some nice support. This could be a really nice entry. If we get a pump in the overall market, this could be a really good entry, short or long term, maybe for a quick double up here on Ponky. Sitting at 169, 170 mil market cap, 56,000 holders, great volume. This to me has $1 billion potential as well. We went all the way up to like 340 mil, give or take, was our all-time high. Mentioned that Pepe is up a little bit today, still undervalued in my opinion at 3.2 billion. Pepe still looks really strong here on the 1 day. Have been consolidating here for about 2 weeks. Nothing on the automated burns front. We did get some recent information that it's getting closer kind of deal, but we really need that to be in place, in my opinion. That's something, it's really a huge incentive once that's in place for people to actually utilize SHIB. Otherwise, you don't have a ton of incentive right now. You've got a bunch of builders who are building there with projects. That's great. But for the novice regular user, this would be the incentive you need to utilize SHIB, because it'd be burning SHIB every time you use it. So definitely want to get that done quicker, sooner rather than later. When do you think altcoin season would start? I mean, the growing sentiment is Q4. I think August, a little choppy here, and I think September is where we really start to see a push. These final 4 months of the year, I think, could start to really form a nice upward trend. I think both stocks and crypto look very interesting for Q4. With the election, I think they're going to pump the markets, make it look like, everything is great. Whether it's artificial or not, perception is reality when it comes to crypto. when it comes to the markets. I mean, we see in the stock market too. You know, the stock market pumps for no real reason sometimes, right? It's market manipulation at its finest, but we'll take it because we can make money in those times for sure. Nothing crazy on the macro right now. By the way, by the way, guys, we are about 20 minutes away from the Crypto Breakfast Club. So we'll be streaming that live here. Oh, look at this. Binance Futures will launch USD margined Brett perpetual contract. So Brett could be getting listed to Binance soon, guys. That could be a really big deal and very important for the bull run. Let's see what Rect Capital's got for us. They've always got some good breakdowns on the charts. BTC is on the cusp of reclaiming its post-halving reaccumulation range. Of course, Bitcoin still has almost an entire week before the necessary close above 60,600 is in. So they're calling this 60,600 a very important level to hit. Currently, price is a little bit above this. Let's see where we are right now. Yeah, 60,700. So we need a weekly close above 60,600. Oh, if you are on X, by the way, repost this tweet. That would be awesome. Get more people rocking with us here on X. As we mentioned, we got the Breakfast Club coming up. If you guys don't know or unaware of this, this is something we've started a couple months back, Crypto Breakfast Club. We meet 9:30 to 11:30 every Monday through Friday. So we're going to be starting that up here in about 15 minutes. We do live stream it here on X and live stream it on YouTube. If you want to take part in the conversation, you got to come over to the actual X post. So make sure you guys are following me over on X so you don't miss out on any content we put out, videos, news, all of that stuff. We've got you covered here. So ooh, Alchemy Pay just announced a partnership with Polkadot. Still like Alchemy Pay as a long-term play in the payments area. All right, Brett dialing back a little bit off the highs. A lot of the Binance chatter is heated up, but also quieted down a little bit. You get a little pump, probably a little bit of profit taking here, but not worried in the slightest here. I think still, Brett, underneath $1 billion market cap is, for me, a place to accumulate. For me personally, it's a place to accumulate for sure. You know what? I'm going to get this box. Sorry about that. Got unmuted for a minute. Let's see here. There we go. Looking forward to energy sector announcing Caspa chain adoption, hopefully next month. Interesting. I'm looking forward to KRC20 for sure. Smart contracts on Caspa is going to be very interesting. Great long-term play in CAS, I think, too. Great upside. Hasn't seen a bull run yet. Not listed on Binance or Coinbase. Definitely one of my favorites in the top 100 with upside. It's ranked number 22 right now, up 5%. It's having a decent day, reclaiming a $4 billion market cap. Still been consolidating for most of the last month here in August, but you look at that one-year chart, you know, we started accumulating right in here back in September of last year at 4 cents. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, this was a great time right in here. September, October of last year is when we really started to accumulate Caspa. That's really when the market overall started to take a really nice turn for the better. Last October was a big upward push. That's why so many people are excited for October this year again. What do they call it? Uptober? I agree, Kenny, 100%. You know, last cycle, Cardano was a late bloomer, late mover. And a lot of people slept on it, said the same things they're saying now about Cardano. And it had a huge surge late in the cycle, kind of moved by itself late. So I'm banking on that too. I still think it's a really good long-term play. It has been depressed for a while too, the price. But Cardano, you know, the sentiment is at an all-time low right now, falling out of the top 100, sitting here at 34 cents. It's been on a downward move for most of the year here. I was accumulating quite a bit at 25 cents. That was kind of our local lows, 25, 26 cents within the bear market. We're not that high off it. We did have that surge in March, I think up to 80 cents, but that was it. I mean, it was short-lived. But last cycle, again, I'll remind you guys, I mean, we had the initial surge in May. We came all the way back down to $1.25, and then everybody said Cardano was done. It wasn't going to move. And then it absolutely mooned up and set all-time highs when everything else did. Got up there in September at $3.10. So it did make that big surge. And I'm still looking at a $4 or $5 price target on Cardano would be somewhere in the range that I'm thinking. Does it have upside all the way to $6 or $7? Potentially. But I think $4 or $5 getting slightly above that all-time high would be a win, at least for me. I'll be looking to take profits even before then because I've been accumulating Cardano for a while. So I'm definitely intrigued by Cardano, you know, at some point late in this cycle. And you're right, it's very unpredictable. When it goes up, it goes up fast. And it tends to do it kind of on its own. Zay said, I've got 10,000 ADA still collecting. What's up, Zay? We got Zay in the house. He is a moderator on the channel. It'll go back to $1. That's my first profit taking. Nice. I like it. Second will be $2 or $3 on your profit taking strategy. Love it. Good to see you too, Zay. So if you guys are interested or wondering what we're going to be covering today on the Breakfast Club, we're going to be getting into the U.S. election, crypto regulation, Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto, how it all is going to be impacted and influenced by the powers that be who get in here in the United States. Of course, the interesting thing is crypto is global. We know that. We understand that. But we also know and understand that the United States has a major role to play in what crypto looks like in the world and how it's adopted, how it's utilized. And it obviously has a huge impact on price go up, price go down, right? Because it's the biggest economy in the world. And a lot of countries kind of follow suit with what the United States tends to do. So wanted to get into that big conversation today, kind of take it more macro. How will crypto in general be impacted by the next president of the United States? So if you guys could come on over here to my pinned tweet on X. I'm at Z_Humphries here on X. And guys, if you could smash the retweet button on this post and get it flowing here, because I want to get a big conversation going here today. I think that would be awesome for all of us. And just want to see a bunch of you guys a part of it too. So definitely help us out by smashing that like button. That would be awesome of you. Definitely would be cool. You could definitely help us out. And again, join the conversation if you want to too. So we're hoping to get a lot of good, interesting voices in there. I think it'll be a fun conversation today. Just actually posting this up in some different groups. All right, guys, I'm ready to start the Breakfast Club. We are getting very close here. Oh, Weeks is listing bad idea AI. Yeah, I'm going to become. I'm becoming a new partner of Weeks Official. So I'll give you guys some interesting details on that later this week as we get rolling with Weeks. Yeah, this was kind of the news surfacing last night. Had a lot of people frustrated, but I guess this was a rumor that we don't really know was true or if it was true or not. Kamala Harris considering Gary Gensler for Treasury Secretary if elected. Senate sources. Dennis Porter responding, I'm wondering how long it'll take for Bitcoin Magazine to retract this thoroughly debunked rumor and apologize for citing the wrong source. I honestly had a feeling that this was kind of fabricated. I mean, because it's definitely clickbaity, right? Because we know how many people do not like how the SEC is running things. But we're going to break that down on the Breakfast Club here in about 4 minutes, guys. So we're going to head over here on the X Space. I'll be streaming it right here on the live stream too, so you don't have to leave or go anywhere. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to kind of see how this election plays out and all of the different dynamics surrounding it. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought last night too. That's why I didn't really make a video on it or anything, because I wanted to kind of see the dust settle a little bit. Perfect clickbait. Yeah, for sure. The Gary Gensler screw job, I call it. Yet Kamala supports the current leaders in each angle of power. I don't see that being fake news for long. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I think Kamala, I would hope, has enough wherewithal to understand that by endorsing, at least not hindering or squashing the crypto market in the U.S., she can get more votes. And there's a lot of bipartisan support. So hopefully she's just listening to the right voices. You got Gillibrand and Lummis working together, on that crypto bill. Here's to hoping that whoever gets in devises a strategic plan so various companies can flourish in the United States. That's really what we need to see. Just put the rules and regulations in place. Let it be very, very easy to understand and let these companies flourish. Appreciate everybody retweeting this post. Guys, can we get 20 reposts in the next 2 minutes? Can we get 9 more reposts on this tweet in the next 2 minutes? That would be awesome. Get the Crypto Breakfast Club space surfacing out there. That would be awesome if you guys can help us do that. Overall market here, a little choppy, but still looking like a green day here so far, up a little under 3%. We'll go to crypto bubbles real quick just to kind of get a good idea here. Okay. So we do have a couple cryptos making their runs here. Brett looking really strong, still up 18+%. Floki. Some of the other top memes too, Whiff, Pepe, FET and Beam looking pretty good. So it's looking like it could be a green day here. We're early, but decent start to the week yesterday. I was pretty bullish about this week coming in on Sunday, taking a look at where we were and how, sideways and choppy the market had been. Pepe did have a nice bounce. H-bar very, very much has been forgotten about, Tyler, but I do think it's still a decent long-term play. I think there's just some faster horses for me that's my opinion, that I'm kind of prioritizing right now. Things could change though. All right, guys, we're going to get ready to start the space. So let's fire that up. All right, space has started, guys. If you guys are obviously aware how this works, it will be streamed right here. You could join us if you'd like to. You can listen in right here on the live stream. You don't have to go anywhere for the next 2 hours. We're going to be covering the election, what it means for crypto, the macro.
Yo, Zach. Yo.
What's up, Paige? What's going on, man?
I'm literally about to board my plane right now to Boston. So you got me for the next, I don't even know how long, but I'm here.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, no worries. Safe travels too, and yeah, appreciate you rocking with us here for a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow same time, and I'm on the East Coast now, so I can finally actually be on the right coast when this thing launches.
Yes, a little easier for sure. West Coast is tough.
Oh yeah, 6:30 in the morning, and then when you're in like Europe, it's like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Like what the fuck?
It's all over the place.
I'm all over the place now. I'm a world traveler.
Appreciate everybody popping in here and getting it rolling. Make sure you guys share the space on your way in. Wanted to kind of talk about the macro today a little bit. Talk about the U.S. election. Talk about crypto regulation. Talk about the big picture here with Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto. I think it could be a fruitful one. I think hopefully we get some interesting voices in here. So let everybody know we're here, guys. Spread the word. Rifle this thing all over the place. There was some recent news last night that came out. I want to address that Harris could pick Gensler as Treasury Secretary, but now there's a lot of news that was a false rumor. This is why you can't, believe everything you read on the internet. You got to kind of give it time to play out a little bit. But so far, from what I'm seeing here this morning, that was a much, much more fabricated story than people had put on. And some of the best sources out there yesterday were even talking about this, including Bitcoin Magazine. They posted 18 hours ago, Kamala Harris considering Gary Gensler for Treasury Secretary if elected, Senate sources. Well, Dennis Porter, somebody I really respect in the space, huge Bitcoin advocate, I've had him on my YouTube channel before, says, I'm wondering how long it will be until Bitcoin Magazine retracts this thoroughly debunked rumor and apologizes for citing the wrong source. And I'm seeing a lot of that this morning. So I guess this is a fabricated story from what we're seeing here, that Harris never said that she was considering Gensler for Treasury Secretary. Obviously, if this were true, it would not be good for crypto at all, because the Treasury Secretary has a lot of freaking power. But from everything that I'm kind of sifting through this morning, that's not real. That's not exactly what happened here. That is a fabricated story. Now, they had the Democratic convention last night. A lot of people were frustrated that crypto didn't come up, wasn't discussed. We can get into that. I mean, a little bit. And also, in general, I will say this. Nothing was said that was bad about crypto either. You know what I mean? Nothing was extremely bearish either. There are some fears, and I think this stemmed from the rumor that was recently debunked, that if, Harris did appoint Gensler in that position, that, a CBDC would be rolled out. Right now, there's a lot of fear. There's not a lot of quality substance. There's a lot of people speculating. And that's why I thought it was a good time to kind of get into this conversation, because, as we're getting ready to close out August, we're getting into September, October months here. We are getting very, very close to the election, and it's going to have a huge impact on crypto, huge impact on our economy. And I think, obviously, the markets at large, in general, stock market, crypto. So I definitely want to get people's opinions on just kind of the state of the market, the state of the union, if you will, when it comes to crypto, U.S. election, regulation, where they'd like to see things go, what they're looking for, how they're playing these next 3-4 months of 2024. I think regardless of what happens leading up to the election, it's very likely that we get a crypto market pump. Keep in mind, last year, as we were coming out of the bear market, October was our big month. If you go back and look at October 2023, that's really where we entered the bull run, the start of the bull market. Go look at all the charts right around mid to late October. I think, if I remember correctly, there was a key date. I think it was October 23rd. If you go back and look at the charts on October 23rd, look at the amount of capital that flowed into the markets those days. People were, I think, gearing up for the launch of an ETF, which obviously came there in early this year for Bitcoin. Now we have an Ethereum ETF too. So a lot of people speculating Q4, which is usually a good time to make money in the markets, is going to be much of the same. You know, you can make an argument that whether it's artificial or not, they're going to prop up the markets here in Q4 leading up to an election, you know, to kind of say, hey, look what we did. Look what we've built here. Look how good the economy is. We're great. Vote for us again, right? I mean, and anybody would do that. Whoever was in office are going to try to manipulate the market and make it look like, hey, look, everything's great. We're killing it. And no matter what, we as crypto traders, investors, we can take advantage of that, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not so much tied up in the whole politics side of it. I just want to be able to play my cards right and make money in this space. That's it, right? So, Pate, I know I'll go to you first here. Just kind of give me your initial thoughts, insights on all of this. I'll go to you because I know you're boarding the plane here, and I see we've got Wolf Tools up here, which is Barkoshi, I'm sure. We can jump over to Barkoshi too, and anybody else who wants to come on up and definitely join the conversation. But Pate, go ahead, man.
So I'm literally walking on a plane as we speak. I don't know if you can hear that shit in the background. That's the dedication to the Crypto Breakfast Club that we have had every day. Get back to me in a minute. I'll just cut someone off whoever's talking when I'm less noisy.
No, appreciate it, man. 100%. Barkoshi, what's going on, man? What's your take on all of this right now? Where are you sitting? What are you looking at? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, crypto-wise, you know, I'm still just looking at the Shib ecosystem. Still bullish on Bone, K9, of course, Wolf Tools, but definitely K9 and Bone right now with K9's liquid staking coming out. That's going to really help with Bone because it's going to lock up a lot more Bone. So that will cut down the circulation supply. So that will help with the price. Plus, you know, more people buying to use their platform. So I think that's going to be a nice little catalyst in the near future. Overall, I want to talk about the Harris rumor going around because this is a good way to link it to crypto. A simple rumor that gets picked up by credible sources, you know, blow up big. And this happens in the crypto world all the time, either with FUD or hype. You know, enough people hype up a project, you get the FOMO, you buy in. That's why education is very important and not rushing, taking your time. Don't let that, you know, don't try to be first, because that's what all these news organizations did. They got a little bit of rumor that was juicy. They know it'd get them a lot of clicks, a lot of views, so they want to be first to put it out there. And now they're retracting it. So being first isn't always good. And then just going on into the future, I agree with you 100%, Zach. Every election, no matter who's in power, they try to make the economy look as good as possible. And that's why the incumbent president normally has an advantage, because you can tout, oh, look how good my economy is, look how good all this is. So they'll definitely try to boost it up. Plus, it looks like we are going to get some rate cuts probably around September 18th. I'm thinking we're going to get some rate cuts, and that's definitely going to pump the markets. But historically, in election years, there's always an October surprise. So I'm kind of waiting to see what happens in October, because there's always that one last big surprise that kind of swings the election. The last one I don't remember 2020 so well, but in 2016, it was the Hillary emails that came out, and that kind of really solid it for Trump. So I'm just kind of being patient, waiting to see what happens September and then going into October.
Yo, great stuff. Zach, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, guys, I have like maybe 5-10 minutes. I'm not even going to take up that much time. The Harris Genza news would be the worst PR thing for her right now. Regardless if she likes Genza or not, just the PR behind it would be awful. So I doubt any of that's real, and I doubt she would pick him. Plus, the rumor was prior to this that he was already out, like he was already leaving. And that's what, when Trump said, "Oh, I'll fire him on day one," I had the pushback was I was like, well, it was already rumored that he was leaving by the time Biden gets out anyway, regardless of who wins. So I was never so hyped when Trump said that. I mean, I get it, it roused up the people, but it's like, that doesn't really matter. So Genza's more than likely not going to be in that cabinet, and if he is in that cabinet, it's announced, it's just going to hurt her election chances by far. Because there's way too much bad PR around him specifically. Even if she does agree with some or, even all of his policies, it would just be a bad look, especially when she's trying to come and get, the crypto community behind her. But I will say this, the Democratic National Convention announced their whole policy thing, like we talked about before, the RNC, and they didn't even mention crypto. I don't even think they mentioned Bitcoin. Not bullish, not good for her. It's going to change more than likely in the next few weeks, but the fact that that wasn't announced at the beginning is a problem. They're so behind the 8 ball, and it's going to be hard for them to turn the ship around, in my opinion. Quick shout out to Matasco. Also, we talked yesterday at length about some of the stuff. I still got to go through all my notes on the convention. I still have videos to get through and send to Zach. But yeah, I'm on a plane now. I'm literally. The Breakfast Club doesn't sleep. It doesn't matter where we are. Crypto doesn't sleep. I'm on a plane not sleeping. We're talking about crypto right now.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you talked with the team from WagMe too, Paige. So definitely want to see how that went. I think you met Ryan Patrick. I think he sent me a DM.
Yeah. Basically, everyone I met, and had a pretty decent conversation with, I was like, DM Zach right now. That's how I kind of did it. And that's when Digital Asset News made that repost and stuff. I was like, yeah. It's like, he knows that. So he's just messing right now. But yeah, Waggy game's pretty interesting. I'm liking what they're doing as well. So, we'll sit down. Maybe I'll text you after I land in the afternoon and be like, hey, this is all the stuff, all the information I have, whatever. Here's all the videos. What do you think we should do? And we'll just go from there.
No, sounds good. Appreciate that. Guys, if you could share the space, we do have, we are streaming this one live today on X and YouTube. Got about 600 people with us over there. So shout out to everybody over there. Hit the like button on YouTube, retweet it if you're on X. And if you're on the actual space, spread the word for us too. So speaking about kind of the Democrats' agenda. So yesterday, the 92-page Democratic Party platform document was released, basically outlining the entire agenda for Harris. Not a single mention of crypto was in it, which sucks. AI got a section, but nothing on crypto. So that's pretty brutal. Now, here's the thing. It could be worse if they strategically talked about crypto in a negative way. That wasn't the case either. So I guess there's a silver lining somewhere there. But yeah, I mean, it is frustrating to not see anything in that 92 page, even if it's not the lead, somewhere in there would have been nice.
I mean, Zach, with Trump, it was only 3 sentences. It wasn't even a big thing. It was just, self-custody, no CBDCs, and one other thing. It wasn't even big. So the fact that, Harris couldn't even put that in, just even one sentence, is a huge problem in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say this: the whole CBDC thing is a big deal for a lot of people, and the fact that Trump said if he got in, that you would not see in 4 years you would not see a CBDC. That's a big deal. And there's no doubt, I think, in my opinion, Republicans here, I mean, and really Trump at the helm here, there has been a notable pivot toward pro-crypto policies. Now, whether that's real or not, or that's just, you know, for votes, whatever. Perception is reality a lot of times. And I do believe that while Trump probably doesn't know a lot about crypto, I do think he'll put the right people in place that could put together some type of plan. We just need full clarity. I don't care who does it, but we need to have a blueprint, a roadmap for these companies to operate in. I mean, we cannot keep allowing the SEC to rule with an iron fist and just basically, you know, cherry pick whoever they want to go after, whenever they want to go after them, and drag them through the mud. I mean, that can't happen any longer, right? Now, with Trump, he did have a presence at Bitcoin Nashville. I mean, you know, that speaks volumes, in my opinion. He went there and spoke. Was he well schooled on crypto? No, I think somebody schooled him up on what to say, but he was there. Excuse me. So while I think the Republican side is still, you know, it's not fully flushed out. I mean, there have been some things said. We have more clarity on at least what this Republican administration could look like versus the Democrats' crypto position, which, I mean, is completely undefined at this point. We have nothing to go off of. They could come out in left field and issue a CBDC and we wouldn't see it coming. They could come in and fully adopt crypto and we wouldn't see it coming. Like, we have no idea what they're thinking, what they're doing, what their idea. I mean, nothing. 92 pages, no mention. So that's kind of scary. Coming into, you know, these next 2, 3, 4 months. And maybe, you know, there's still time for Harris and the Democratic side to kind of put something together. There was that quick mention that Harris wanted to come in and, quote, reset relationships or rekindle some relationships. We did have that. I mean, but literally that was it. So there's kind of a hint that she wants to kind of do a little bit more than what Biden did the last 4 years. But Tim Walz, Harris's running mate, has not been a very prominent figure in crypto on the national level. He's been very cautious. He's been outspoken that he doesn't like crypto. But we shall see, because people can flip-flop in politics as they do all the time. You know, so that's kind of just some outlines here. I want to use that as a jumping off point. Guys, share the room if you haven't already. Let's get to Mar and Mutasco, and then we'll get over to Barkoshi over at Wolf Tools. Mar, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Good morning, Zach. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having a great morning. Myself, I just woke up a few minutes ago, man. I slept like 10 hours, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate sleeping more than 8 hours. But yeah, hope everyone is doing great. You know, to go back, and then I'll tie it in with Harris and Bitcoin. To the conversation you had a little bit about Bitcoin, you know, and to make it, I like to make things simple for the audience to understand. You know, just the simple numbers where sometimes we get too complicated and we complicate ourselves. I ignore the science out there and the history and the psychology. Look, if you go back, Zach, to late November, early December 2022, I'm getting it right, 2022, that's when Bitcoin bottomed around 16K, 16.5K, due to all the, you know, the FTX and the war and all the craziness we had, you know, where everybody was like, we're going to zero. And everyone was waiting for the, you know, 9K, 10K Bitcoin. That never happened. And I truly, look, and going a little bit more back to 2021, Bitcoin hit the top of 68, 69K twice. And it didn't last days. It only lasted days, you know. It shows you how much it was overbought, and we were not ready for that price action. Now, we're going again back to 2022 where it bottomed, you know, late November, early December, due to FTX. And then from there, it just started going up and stayed in the high 20s, 28K, 29K for months. And then it started going up to the 30s. And that's when I'm, you know, getting to your date, which is, you know, November, maybe December 2023, where we started pumping because of the ETFs. For me, Bitcoin is not 60K like you see it now. The good thing about it is that it's holding, you know, like I said, it was like in the 60s for a few days, twice back in 2021. Now it's holding at that price, you know, because of ETFs and just inflation, you know. Comparing a 60K Bitcoin to a 60K Bitcoin 2021, I mean, man, it's night and day, right? This is like a 30K Bitcoin just because of inflation. You know, I went to the supermarket yesterday for the first time in weeks. I normally, you know, my wife does the shopping, at least in that part for me. And man, and I pay for these vegetables like $8, where like 3 years ago it was probably like $1.50, $2. So you could see the inflation, and why I say that, you know, even though Bitcoin is 60K, it feels like it's 30K, you know. The price is right. It's good, you know. I see it maybe in the bull market. If we hit bull market status, maybe 3 trillion, 120 to 150K. So, you know, just look at the history, man. And in studying, you know, the history of Bitcoin, you'll get an idea with the market, and you'll start losing a little bit of fear. But it's sitting at a great price right now. It's not overbought. It's what you know, the people want, and it's what the market is following, which is 50K, 60K Bitcoin. I will be shocked if Bitcoin ever goes, unless we got like a World War III, and who knows if Bitcoin ever goes under 30K. I will be shocked. But yeah, tying it to that, if Harris gets elected and she starts getting negative about crypto, which at the end it lands on Bitcoin, you know, you could see Bitcoin not dumping, but struggling a little bit to hold that, you know, that 100K, 90K, 120K. We have no idea. I'm not bearish with Harris. I just think Donald Trump will do a better job. I think he will, you know, concentrate on having better, you know, advisors when it comes to crypto. And I'm more bullish, but I don't think, sorry, under Harris, we're gonna have all that FUD we had with Biden, you know. But yeah, just look, just, you know, go to CoinMarketCap, Gecko, and look at the history of Bitcoin, at least starting in 2020, and you could see the only thing that's throwing me off is inflation. If we didn't have this crazy inflation, I'll be telling you, man, we're rocking. We are rocking at 60K. But due to inflation, I mean, for me, Bitcoin, it's at 32K. If this was 2020, 2021.
That's good stuff. I know we got Tom up here too. Appreciate that, Mar. Let's get over to Mutasco, Wolf Tools, and then we'll get over to Tom as well. We're bringing up some more people. Guys, if you want to contribute to the conversation, obviously, you know, talking politics, keep it civil, keep it, you know, cordial, but keep it real too. I mean, I really want to kind of get at people's ideas here, like, how can different scenarios play out? How big of a deal is it just in general for crypto, who the president is? Does it really matter that much? I mean, just anywhere you want to take it, but just keep it civil. And really wanted to get into this conversation because I'm genuinely curious about people's thoughts. Mutasco, good morning.
Good morning, Zach. So I wanted to comment on something really quick. I'm driving. there's two things. You mentioned the Gary fake news. You have to understand that at the SEC, what's her name, Hester, if Gary makes it to the Treasury, which I don't think is likely, because I'm sure that the people that Harris has talking to her, Mark Cuban and the rest, they're not fans of whatever, and there are other people beyond that. And I'm being a little bit lazy here, but you get my point. I'm not worried about that because the SEC has been probably one of the most destructive agency for this industry, period. The fact that he may end up at the Treasury, again, here's the thing. Nobody knows. And from now until anybody gets sworn in, whether it's Trump or, who cares? Because I remember vividly who the Treasury Secretary during Trump's administration was. And I can tell you many things that Treasury Secretary didn't do to help crypto. A million things. Because they always have their own things they're going to lead to. And I think Harris and even Trump, they're both trying to play it both ways, right? Who writes the big checks? So when they're not saying anything, it's actually more risky because who are they listening to? Who are they trying to take the bidding into the White House? But there are things that we also need to focus on, though. I did pin something in the comment section. We can't always just talk. We have to look at what's actually in there and working, right? Because as you know, the Treasury Secretary is like a governor to the president. As you know, you have to be if you're the Treasury Secretary, you're a cabinet member, and the cabinet member, you have to be loyal, no matter how we look at it. And if you look at their role and what they can do, I mean, look at Janet Yellen and what she does. I mean, we woke up, the Japan thing was that, and everybody knows. If you're somebody who reads HGACESS write-ups, you know what's going on there, right? They always have influence. But what I don't like to talk about sometimes is what get amplified on Twitter, right? Because there are facts and there are also lies. The facts are, as I posted in the comment section, if you look at the Federal Reserve, there's already activities lined up. And if you look at it, I've highlighted specific things, right? They know and understand and appreciate the technology. They know what this is all about. It's not even like a joke. So you can look at that and say, okay, do they recognize it, right? Who cares who's at the top? But do they recognize it? And if you trust in the institutions in the United States, you can believe that, okay, yeah, it's kind of, there's like the banking system that likes to drive things in their way. But do we still have a hold of this technology? We do. But you can see that and say, okay, the Federal Reserve is all in. They're not just saying Bitcoin. They're saying crypto, DLT. They're talking about lending, borrowing, custody, all of that, okay? That's not just Bitcoin. That is crypto as a whole. That's a good thing for the industry. And if you look at the Secretary of the Treasury, underneath the Secretary, the Treasury Secretary is the OCC, right? And the OCC, if you look at what they did in 2021, they did a lot of things that actually gave the banking system the green light. And this is, if you want to look at this, go look up all of the interpretive letters, right? The OCC released. You can read each one of them and see exactly what they're propagating for the banking system. And that will give an idea of whoever ends up in the White House, it's either they repeal it, and if they're going to repeal it, there's a process, right? If you're going to put in somebody besides Hester Pierce, there's a process. So we can't all just amplify things that are not practical. And if you end up doing what, somebody could do, say, I'm just going to fire this person. What message is that going to send? Is that a good thing for the industry? Is that a good thing for the financial markets? You also have to remember, and this is my last comment, no matter what happens when it comes to crypto, we want to be able to avoid being like this I'll call it the apple for the politicians. We want to always play both sides, because who knows which side is going to, because then it becomes bearish if one other side fails and the other side goes in. Then we're like, okay, we're doomed. No, we can't do that. We have to stay where we're at, which is they can play on both ends, and we get to win regardless. But there are things that are already done within the different agencies that you can look at, and they can tell you exactly what these guys know about the technology. They know what it is, and we know what it is, and we're just going to keep doubling down on it. They can delay and delay and delay. Who cares? But we should not ignore what these agencies already know and have documented in terms of rulemaking on how or what the future of this technology is going to be. I just wanted to add that context. If you want to look at it, go look at it in the comment section. You can also go look at the interpreted letters on the OCC, and you can kind of understand these two different major agencies that actually drive the economic policy of every president, what they know about the technology and why we should all be bullish, regardless of who makes it there.
Great stuff as always. Appreciate that. Let's get over to Tom, and then we'll get to Barkoshi. What's up, Tom?
Hey, Zach, good to talk to you again. And been a couple of days since the convention.
Yeah, man, it was a blast. Thanks again for just for doing what you did there, setting everything up. It was a ton of fun, man. Had a blast. Yeah, can't wait.
It was a good time. We got some good feedback on our lunchtime analysis with the boys. As I say, the people at the Futures Convention really enjoyed it. And I'm sending that stuff off to their new owners, the Emerald Group, to showcase what we do and that type of stuff. So it's good.
Sweet, man.
But that's not why I'm hyping up here today. We started talking about politics earlier. But the thing I wanted to talk about, you stole my exact words, all 90-some pages of that. The platform, they don't even mention digital assets really, effectively at all, which to me is troubling when they mention literally everything else in your life, But the important point, hold on a sec, I got slow down for a second. Out on the morning walk, as they say. The important point is that I wanted to talk about is I live here part-time in Chicago, part-time in Ottawa, Canada too. And in Chicago here, we have the Democratic National Convention going on. And I thought it would be a good idea yesterday to kind of go on down and see the protesters. And if you're listening to Twitter or X or the certain news medias, it's just massive protests and everything's on fire and all this kind of stuff. So I got my daughter on my motorcycle. We went down to check it out. And there's literally more police and vloggers than there are protesters. There's it's still early. There's still 2 more days of this. But there's more authorities, more people with cameras just shooting the various protesters that there are. And so I just wanted to take this time that even though I'll say I'm like half in the media and half not, is that they don't really report everything that's accurate. It's not a big disaster down there at this point. There's hardly any protesters. And Chicago is really safe and beautiful right now for the first time in a long time. They fixed everything in the city. And it's like that with with the news that is always coming out about crypto. Just wanted to remind everybody to take what you read with a grain of salt. Use your own eyes. As the motto of our media channel is do your own research. But other than that, Zach, have a good day. I'll be listening for a little while.
Appreciate you, brother. Wolf Tools, go ahead, man.
Yo, Zach, I'm about to be fine. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Paid. Appreciate you, man.
Flex safe, Paid. I just wanted to kind of disagree a little bit with Paid, especially now since he's leaving and can't hear me.
You know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't make me turn this way around.
But Trump did say something very important in those 3 sentences. He said Bitcoin will become a strategic reserve. that line alone is probably the most bullish thing a politician can say. But to me, overall, it doesn't matter who gets into office. It might slow things down. It might speed things up. But guys, listen to what we've just been saying. The SEC has been waging a war on crypto for the last, 7 years. They first said it was a joke. It's nothing. Gandhi said, first they laugh at you, then they fight you, then they join you. Well, we went through the 2 stages, and now it's coming to the, acceptance phase of it all. So it doesn't matter who wins. We've already won. We are bigger. We are growing out the technology. So even with all these scams, remember, when Bitcoin was created, they said as long as 51% of the people are good in the space, Bitcoin will succeed. But that means that there's also going to be 49% of scammers in the space as well, up to that amount. So there's always going to be those scams and everything in the space, even with the regulations coming. So it's just crypto is here to stay. It doesn't matter what politicians get in. It may just determine how long it takes to really reach the mass adoption, but we won, guys. We made it.
Appreciate that. I want to get Monka S in here and get his opinions here on the upcoming U.S. election, crypto regulation. Monka S, what are you looking at right now in terms of all of this? Is it overblown? Does it matter who gets in? Is somebody really anti-crypto, or do the Democrats just not care enough? I mean, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yo, what's up, Zach? I'm good. My first word is we are pretty rich already. And I totally agree. Yo, Pig. Okay, I'm just gonna say he's on here. I totally agree with bro. Who was the last speaker? I'm trying to remember. Is it Wolf Tools? What he said? Oh, Bakosh. Yeah, definitely. Like I think I've said this also before back then. I said even with Trump or with Kamala or whoever it is, it doesn't even matter. You understand? Crypto actually won already. You understand? So one of the things we should be happy about is we hit early, and it's not even up to 5% of the whole population is in crypto yet. But though the U.S. election, I think everybody right now is adding crypto to part of like their manifesto, things they want to do for the people. You understand? Because they see a lot of people going for crypto. So I feel like anybody coming in is still also going to boost. If they don't come in, we're still going to have a bull run coming for next year. I think Trump is going to make it go faster. You understand? So Trump is going to make it go faster. But I don't know what's literally happening at the moment. The market is just keep going sideways. It could go down more. It could go up. Whoever it is, we just know that the coming election is going to have an impact. Though you could see one of the impacts, apart from the market now, let's come down to the meme coin market. Like the political coins, they're actually going to start running again because the hype is going to be everywhere on Twitter. It's going to be everywhere on X, YouTube, wherever it is, all the social media. So those are like the coins that are literally also going to be popping off during those times when the political race is fully in because of the election is actually closer at hand. So without anybody, without any of those people coming in supporting crypto, or with them, crypto is still going to move. Truly, I could remember a lot of times they were calling crypto scams. And it's even good. This is actually one thing in life. The same shit happens to everybody in real life. When you're still like struggling at your down times, some people are going to laugh at you, but you kept going, Now it's getting more serious and serious. Now people start to, they become jealous of you and try to bring you down. Why? Because they went up with you when you were down at your lowest. Now and then when you get to the top, they start to act nice and try to be your friend, try to promise you shit, and they're going to be so. This is the same shit happening. They try to talk over crypto down many times. That was, I think, 2022. It was a rough year for crypto. A lot of things, a lot of regulations, a lot of people a lot of those SEC and all the stuff calling off a lot of things for crypto. But right now, they're showing no interest because they finally seeing it. And it's good. They can never, I think these prices are good. They're in. They're not in at 20K BTC and all of that. Let them keep buying at these prices. It means like we still have more next leg up from here. Probably in the bull run, we could see Bitcoin go above 150, or let's say 150 or so, 120 to 150. It could happen. What I'm going to say is I'm not sure about how long it's going to last. Because these people now, like I said before, now we have these big guys in. We have the ETFs, the institutions, they're now in Bitcoin and ETH right now. They're going to keep manipulating the chart. Understand what I mean? They're going to keep manipulating the chart. So it's all about manipulation right now. That's what they're going to keep doing. So what I'm going to say is that the peak bull run, probably like you see Bitcoin go to, let's say, 150K or 120, and that's the all-time high. They're going to keep playing around with it, you understand? Because these guys are in. So what I'm going to say to everybody, because we are not the big guys playing with the billions of dollars in this market or hundreds of millions. So what we're just going to do at those levels, remember to take your profit in and have those stable coins or swap to stable. So when the shit goes down, you can start scooping more. You understand? You have to play them smarter so you can actually have more to yourself. Because if you don't do that, they manipulate the market easily, and it's literally going to affect the small whales easily. But that's actually my take on that, though.
I appreciate that, bro. Great breakdown. I want to get to Clifford here in just a minute. You know what, Clifford? Go ahead, and after you're done, I want to play an interview, a recent interview with Jeremy Allaire. This is the CEO of Circle. CEO of Circle, which is the company that backs, the major stablecoin USDC. I thought it was interesting because he recently spoke on crypto and politics and how it, should be a bipartisan issue, and maybe it's becoming more bipartisan, which could be a positive. I want to get to that little snippet. It's about a 5-6 minute clip. I think it was really interesting. I listened to it the other day. I want to play that here during the space, but I'll let Clifford jump in here. What's going on, man? What's your take on all of this?
Hey, bro, I appreciate you letting me come up, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, never underestimate the government's ability to screw something up. Whether someone says they're positive for something or negative for something, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of cases of the government flip-flopping on something, or just in general screwing it up. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail with what that is, but I think most of you in here already know plenty of instances or examples that we can pick out of that bunch of apples that's happened. And I'm also going to say, don't ever think that you've won the battle when the war is still raging, because if anyone has ever forgotten, at one point, I'm just going to use this as an example, alcohol was legal throughout the United States. And at one point, we went through a period called prohibition, and alcohol became illegal virtually overnight. Government went into a bunch of bars, underground bars, all types of stuff, and began pouring out all the alcohol, taking people to jail, all kinds of stuff. And that's where bootleggers came from, with moonshine and different other different types of alcohols and that sort of thing. So don't ever think that it's over, that the war has been won, until there's something in writing, in stone, set into law that, that's the way that it is. Because it can always do a 360, 180, whatever, until we've reached the finish line, it's not over. So that's what I wanted to say, Zach. And I think it really is, the president may not be as important as your local regulators and your congressmen, senators, that sort of thing. That's who's going to be at the front line of pushing these regulations through and getting it to the president's desk. So yeah, the president's going to be the figurehead, but you've got to get in pro-crypto regulators within Congress and the Senate. So, you know, it's a full effect. We need as many pro-crypto regulators as we can, and real pro-crypto regulators, not fake ones. You know, anybody can say anything. So, you know, do your own research on that one too. So that's what I wanted to say, Zach. We still got a battle ahead of us, basically. Thanks for letting me up, man.
No, appreciate that, man. Great insight. Feel free to stay up here too. I want to play this clip, guys. Check this out, and then we'll come back. This was on Market Watch about a week ago. So I'll play this clip for you guys, and we can respond to it here.
Now we're in politics, though. We're trying to get people elected, and so people are figuring out, okay, this is an industry here to stay. There's a lot of investment from that industry in the campaigns themselves, and so people are staking out these new positions. But it actually reflects, in many ways, if you look 2 years ago, it would be very hard to believe that crypto is going to be a presidential political issue. It would be very hard to believe that there'd be major legislation. The industry would be where it is. 2 years ago, it was a very different world.
So what do you make of the fact that obviously former President Trump has taken this on and a skeptical eye on it?
Yeah, and I think they've missed the boat on that. I think they've caused American jobs to go overseas. They've made the cost of building in this space extremely prohibitive. And they've created a situation where policy is being adjudicated by the courts and not by Congress. And that is not how a new technology industry should be developed. And so they've really missed the beat on that. But you did see later in this administration this pivot towards, okay, we're going to actually try and pass comprehensive legislation on a bipartisan basis. And so there's some move towards that, but is it too little too late?
And do you see a distinction between, I mean, Gary Gensler was appointed by this administration. Where do you see him playing in this situation?
I mean, look, I think we're 90 days out from the, obviously from the presidential electoral outcome. And there's a lot of discussion about Harris wanting to, build out her own cabinet, so to speak, if she were to win. Obviously, we know what President Trump would do, but I think who are going to be. Do you know what President Trump would do? I mean, that was the other question I was going to ask you, which is he's made a whole bunch of statements about Bitcoin. He went to the Bitcoin conference, but I don't know how deep he would even say he is, just in fairness, on these issues.
I mean, it's hard to know that, obviously, but I think what does seem clear is that a lot of the people around him and his advisors and others have a somewhat sophisticated view on the topic. And so, it's a kind of, is it a delegation of not authority per se, but of kind of really driving the policy agenda. But I do believe we've reached a really interesting point where there's been incredible technology maturity in the space. It's happening at a very, very accelerating pace. More and more major companies, traditional financial companies, payments companies, consumer companies, others getting into this. Europe is ahead of the US on this. Comprehensive regulation, fully enforced. Other markets very much moving in that. And so this is a huge opportunity for the United States, and it's a huge opportunity for the dollar and digital dollars. And so whatever the outcome, this is advancing.
There was some expectation or hope maybe that Donald Trump at the Bitcoin conference would say that he would want Bitcoin to be a reserve currency of some sort for the United States. Is that still alive? Is that the hope for a Trump administration still, in your view?
I don't, I mean, he made a speech and he said, well, we won't sell our Bitcoin, basically.
Right.
So I think there's a whole discussion. I don't think it's a long discussion on, like, is it a good idea for the Federal Reserve to, hold, something like Bitcoin on its balance sheet? That's sort of a more of a central bank and monetary policy question.
That would have an impact on you, I would imagine. No,
I mean, I think generally advancing policies that allow private sector innovation to grow, advancing policies that effectively make digital currency dollars that are built on these technologies flourish around the world would absolutely benefit us. And so we've been obviously advocating for those kinds of rules for a very long time. We think this is a key moment for dollar competitiveness, competing with China, competing in this geo-fractured world, and doing it responsibly.
Okay, so interesting, right? A lot of, can you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that okay? I just want to know for future reference. Good? Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Lot we can respond to there. What do you guys think? I want to open it up. Does anybody else want to jump in first? Because I got a couple different thoughts, but I want to hear from you guys first, responding to that. Again, that was CEO from Circle. Anything jump out at you guys regarding that? Anything kind of spark a thought or an idea there? I think, I mean, he's saying a lot of the similar things we did here to kind of start, but what do you guys think? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Bro Kersey.
Yeah, he said a lot of interesting things that I think a lot of us in the crypto space don't really think about because we get behind the memes, the memes so much right now, is how this technology is really advancing, how this is really, it's not just, Bitcoin. This is a whole new technology that is really evolving and driving us further into the future. And, just like AI, and like he was saying, we need these regulations to come in so we know what rules to play by. And this way it can help the space flourish. Like you said, it's a lot of the same things we've been saying. I'm normally against regulations, but like I've been saying, we're not in a free market. So we have to try to create a market that mimics the free market. And that's where the regulations I approve come in. And that's what we kind of need to do with the crypto regulations, is try to mimic the free market as much as possible and hopefully eventually get us to a solid free market, but that transition takes time. So it's a lot of good points, and I really encourage people to really start thinking of this as a technology advancement instead of just a new way to make money. Because while it is that, it's also bettering humanity, just like going to space did, just like the internet did. Yes, it made money, but it also made lives better all around.
Yeah, I love that. Love that take. I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's going to, I think, revolutionize the job market. I mean, when you think of like what's coming, like what's happening with the emergence of blockchain, the emergence of AI, the emergence of this digital world that we're going more and more into. You know, a lot of people are pessimistic about the future and how many jobs are going to be lost. I'm in the other camp. I think we're not even thinking about how many jobs are going to be created. You know, it actually, I think, is good for us as humans too. And I know we're going a little macro here, but that's cool. I think it's good for humans in general because we're not going to have to do the monotonous tasks as much. You know, we're going to be able to use our brains actually. And I think it was Naval Ravikant, who's a really interesting entrepreneur that I listen to a lot. And he talked about the emergence of AI and blockchain and this kind of new world that we're kind of moving towards and already kind of living in, and it's only proliferating. And he said, it's not about being replaced by AI. It's all of the job opportunities and the abilities to work alongside AI, to work with it. Because there's still going to be a place, I think, for humans. And I think we can very similarly say the same thing about blockchain too. You know, a lot of it takes away from the monotonous tasks that humans no longer have to do, but we're going to be able to think much bigger, you know, with these new technologies. And I think the jobs that are going to be created are going to be a lot more fun and a lot more useful for us as just, you know, being able to be creative, I think that's really exciting. And you're right. I mean, yeah, I mean, we all want to make money 100%, but it is pretty cool when you think about just being on the cusp of the whole world shifting and changing toward this whole AI, robotics, blockchain move, and just being able to kind of live through it and be in it every single day is pretty cool. I want to get to Supers, and I see Corrupt Fun is up here and Monka S. Supers, what's up, man?
Just real quick.
Or yeah, go ahead.
Just to add on to that, it's, you know, to everybody that has that fear of, oh no, we're going to lose jobs. Well, just remember, you know, there's a lot of outdated jobs out there. You know, your wife's not getting screwed by the milkman anymore. So just think of it like that too. With destruction comes creation.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's similar, I guess, to what I was looking to say when you jumped on the AI train. I mean, whenever there's an emerging technology coming up, it's going to disrupt sort of the old sectors that needed it or were looking to have some sort of innovation or efficiency in what they do. So I think both AI and blockchain will definitely help with that stuff a lot. I do think AI will come for a lot more intellectual jobs than people understand, like lawyers, doctors, things like that. I don't think people understand quite how much those things will really be impacted by that stuff. But personally, in terms of, I was just listening in a little bit before I hopped up here on the election stuff and crypto regulation. I mean, again, this is specific to U.S. election. I don't want to say it doesn't matter. I don't want to use those words, but the point of Bitcoin and the point of crypto and all these things is for that stuff not to matter. Like for governments and all these things, you know, it's supposed to be a separate entity that's around the world and, you know, very universal. Of course, you know, the country with the most money in it is going to have an impact on all markets, regardless of what they are. And the types of presidents that we have in are going to determine how bullish or bearish the cycle might be. But I mean, regardless, we've had Republican, Democrat, all the craziest things, events in the whole world, literally things we couldn't even imagine 4 years ago during the pandemic happen, and crypto and all these things are still thriving no matter who is president or regulation, whatever. Solana technically is not even a registered security. It's like an illegal thing in the U.S., and we see how well it's doing. So I think regardless of who gets elected, crypto is bullish. I'm bullish no matter what. But do I think that the presidents will, who gets elected will ultimately decide just how bullish the industry is in the U.S.? I think that's where the real meat and potatoes of the conversation is. So I really hope the U.S. just doesn't miss out on this train.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think, you know, in listening in there to the CEO of Circle, like basically just saying, hey, like Europe's already ahead of the US here. And like so are a lot of other parts of the world. That's what makes me concerned. Like the fact that we're not moving the needle on this emerging technology that's changing our world. The United States has always been a leader in that. It's always been the place for innovation. It's always been the place for new ideas. It's always been the place for think tanks and people coming together. Think about the internet. All of the biggest companies, where are they born out of? Where did Google get created? Where did Facebook get created? Where did go through them all. It's, you know, the US has been known for that. And the fact that we're hearing all these powerful CEOs that are in the industry all frustrated with the pace at which things are moving, that is concerning. That is concerning. And that's why I don't care who the hell gets in. Just provide clarity, provide a roadmap that's easy to follow, and for you know, for once and for all, allow these companies like Coinbase, Kraken, the ones that have been trying, especially the ones that have been trying to play by the rules. I mean, there was that old quote like that Brian Armstrong had tried to meet with the SEC like what 20 or 30 different times, and yet, you know, to no avail, and then they get dragged in the mud in all these different directions. It's like that to me is concerning. And I mean, does a changing of the guard here, either direction, whether Harris or Trump gets back in, does that change? You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Monka S, I'll let you respond, and then Corrupt Fun, you can jump in too.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about if we get a crypto pro president. One thing that's going to happen is for the regulation, though. It's a good thing for the regulation. Why I say this is it's going to help onboard a lot of normies, because why? This normies, they're going to feel safer coming to crypto, because right now most of them feel like crypto is like a lawless it's a lawless place where we make money. So it's kind of brutal to new people who don't really understand a lot of things. You understand? They can just come and lose money so easily. So that's like something that when they see the government is in, and the government have some regulations put out on it, and at least it's going to give them more confidence to come in. But I don't know, for the US though, or any country who's actually feeling reluctant and getting into crypto at this moment, you know, probably they're going to miss out on a lot of things, because you know, in the coming years, and we're seeing that crypto is going to skyrocket so high the coming years, because talking about how gold, you know, big crypto like Bitcoin actually used to gold. So you see how gold actually went to pumped so far from the past years into like 13 trillion or something like that, and even more. So imagine a Bitcoin going to even 5 trillion market cap. That's a crazy number for us too, and for the market. It's gonna be easy money for everybody to happen here. Understand? And down to the AI, bro. I'm gonna say this though. AI, though, I understand what you guys are saying about working with the AI, bro. AI is gonna keep a lot of people's job. Though it's giving people giving them opportunity to go work, be creative or something like that. But bro, remember, not everybody is creative. A lot of people just love the 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is like the delivery shit. You know, they just want to be delivering products and all the stuff. Bro, in China, they have a delivery a technology like a bus, something like that. It has every damn location of who they literally want to deliver the stuff to, and it just keeps going on its own. When it gets to the location, it notifies those people. I've seen it on the news before. So China has it. So imagine when that shit is everywhere, bro. You don't need the delivery man anymore. So tell me what he's gonna be doing. You understand what I'm saying? So it's gonna be hard though for those kind of people, but not for us, because the AI, we need those AI, because bro, listen, anybody opening companies, you know, bro, everybody looking for how to cut costs. You know, they're looking for how not to pay too much. You understand? Imagine someone you were paying a 9 to 5, probably paying like $8 to $10 per hour, and but you have an AI that just needs battery. You charge it up, you buy it, and you just charge it up. It's gonna serve you for years. It only needs to be charged up, and it's still gonna be doing the same shit, even doing it faster, with no complaints about my family this or my family that, or I need to go do something at home. I'm sick. You understand what I mean? So it's crazy though. So for the layman jobs, you know, it's gonna take it away. So what's the layman gonna be doing after? But yeah, it's still on them though. One thing in this life is you just gotta be ahead of everything. Like, try not to be behind. You know, you see people evolving, also try to evolve. If you don't evolve, you're gonna get swiped up with poverty or something like that. Because to be honest with you, the AI is coming in, and for all we the crypto bros, we need this AI. We're gonna work with it a lot. But for these people, it's gonna make most people to come into crypto though. You understand? More AI coming in and taking the jobs, the normal jobs. I think those people gonna come into crypto. They be like, oh, so how are we gonna make money right now? Oh, I see this. My homie just made money from crypto. Then next thing you see a lot of people on crypto. Because why? Bro, at the end of the day, man, you're gonna see a lot of people gonna even quit their jobs because they feel like they're gonna come to crypto because, you know, they take crypto jobs and also trade and make money off crypto, and that's how they can live their life. Imagine everybody on crypto trading. Extent.
My delivery guy's already trading crypto, you know? Like, I'm talking to dudes that already are trading. Like, it's just on the par with it. Yeah, it's like what everybody's saying. You either adopt or die, sadly, and you have to move with the times, and the times are going to AI.
When that delivery guy hits 100x off a good amount of money, bro, he's not gonna deliver anything to you anymore. You understand what I mean?
I'm gonna be mad. Actually, I'm gonna be like, bro, we talked about this on the regular, and you didn't even let me in. Like, you were gatekeeping this from me. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, I'm sad. I'm going to my job.
Yeah, exactly, bro. He's gonna quit his job, so that's the thing also. So this is why the AI is also gonna come in. But the AI there's some jobs the AI cannot take over, you know? I'm talking about nursing, the health. When you come to health, you understand, doctors, the nurses, and all those people, you understand, they cannot actually, you know, take over everything from there. Only maybe in the production of medications and all of that.
I've seen some crazy AI surgeries, bro. I've seen some really crazy AI surgeries. I don't know. I think it's a landscape where it's the prompter is key. If you know how to prompt, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to, you know, use the right keywords or phrases to fit whichever version of the many of trillions of AI bots that are out right now, you're going to be better off. You'll figure out how to go a lot further. But I don't know. You could go on for days.
On that note, there was a recent, this just came out like a half hour ago. Dennis Porter put this out. So Bitcoin miners shifting to artificial intelligence and high performance computing, according to VanEck Analysis. This is what we're talking about when we talk about these two technologies emerging together. He said the USA is poised to dominate AI data center growth due to Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining is laying the energy foundation for AI data centers in the United States. This may be one of the most important impacts of Bitcoin mining to date. AI security is national security. Interesting tidbit there. I think, you know, we also heard when we listened to the CEO of Circle there talk a little bit, you know, about bipartisanship starting to happen. You know, Gillibrand's a Democrat that's with Cynthia Lummis. You know, that's a bipartisan bill. So there are some things starting to happen. You know, the fact that this is a partisan issue, there's a lot of stuff in U.S. politics that should not be a political issue, right? And crypto's another one. Crypto's another one. Like, this should not be a bipartisan issue. But we did see some benefit or some positives, I guess, come out of the passage of the FIT 21, Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. That came down in May, if you guys remember. I was live streaming that. That had a lot of support from Democrats, which is really, really good. Actually, a surprising amount. So that definitely shows us that there's, you know, A, recognition of the importance of the digital asset space, and B, also some bipartisan support starting to kind of take fruition and take place in front of our eyes here. So despite the whole Gary Gensler thing, and, you know, we also have seen 2 ETFs. You know, we've seen a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. But I guess that begs the question, are they trying to narrow it down to Bitcoin and Ethereum and basically hinder everything else to kind of simplify it? Because, I mean, just from that standpoint, it's a lot easier to kind of control and manipulate 2 assets, especially if they're exchange traded funds, versus everything else.
You just said it, man. It's that control aspect. It's that if you control Bitcoin and Ethereum, you kind of move the market.
Right. And I mean, it's 70% of the market. So they may just look at, okay, how can we control 70% of the market and then get rid of everything else? And that's kind of what they're doing. I mean, that's kind of what they're trying to do. I mean, think about it. They single-handedly forced Robinhood to delist Solana, delist Polygon, because they were scared. You know, they've been going after random different obviously XRP for 4 freaking years. You know what I mean? They've went after the whole the 2 big metaverse plays, Sandbox and Metaverse and Decentraland. They've went after Filecoin. So I mean, is that the aim here? Is that their goal? I don't know. I mean, we know, just being in the space, that there's a lot of room for some of these other major projects, and they bring different things to the table. But we'll keep the conversation flowing. I think Clifford was up next, and we'll get to Mar and then Supers.
I appreciate it, Zach. First thing with the U.S. and where we are, I guess, as far as roadmap to regulation, we're really, a lot of people say that the U.S. is very far behind. But if you pay attention to world events, world news, that really may not be the case, in all honesty. Just looking at China, Bitcoin is illegal in China. It's one of the biggest economies in the world, I think number 2 behind us. So that's one. Europe, just last year, Chase Bank in particular, made it to where you could not deposit funds into certain crypto exchanges or any crypto exchange for that matter. I don't know if anybody remembers that, or is possibly from the UK here that could speak to that. That is a Chase Bank customer. But yeah, Europe may have a little more regulation, but I would not call them pro crypto or crypto friendly by any means or stretch. Really, you have a handful of countries that I would say would be pro crypto. Dubai being one. You could say Singapore would be another one. But there's really, what's the model? What is the model that we're going by? Is it full on crypto everything like Dubai, where you could get your paycheck in crypto of your choice and that sort of thing? Or are we going with more of a conservative model like maybe the UK has or something like that? What is our ideal model? That's the first question. Second thing, AI will replace quite a few jobs. Not going to lie on that one. I think it's going to put humans in more of a hands-on, in the field type of role, if you would, or if you will. And just imagine your supervisor being an AI chatbot. Why did you clock in a minute late? We're going to have to dock you. You're not going to get very far with an AI chatbot on having human emotions to feel sorry for you in your situation. So that's something to think about as well, because, AI doesn't have to sleep. So if it's your boss and it's tracking everything you do real time, it's going to be kind of hard to probably take maybe a 5-minute longer lunch break, or maybe just a break in general. So, something to think about with that one. It's definitely going to put humans in more of a manual labor position, I believe.
Clifford, I emphasize your feelings and I appreciate you, but you're 5 seconds late.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. So you got to think about that one too. And then I think the last one, I can't remember what the last topic was there, Zach, but that was the main two that I had, man. I appreciate you letting me get back up here with that. And I don't want to keep Mar hanging on too long.
Appreciate it, man. No, I love it. Let's get to Mar and Supers, and then Crypto Postman came up here too. Feel free, guys, if you want to jump up, let your voice be heard. We got a bunch of people listening on YouTube live stream and X live stream too. Shout out to everybody listening in. But Mar, what's your take here, man?
Yeah, Zach, no, you cover something there at the end, man. It's been like just killing me, bro. How these ETFs, and I know the BlackRock and all these institutions are just going to slow things down, and they know it. They know that they can control the market. Just controlling Ethereum and Bitcoin that holds like 70%. I thought about that many times, and I think I've brought it up. Just slowing down, and now you just called it. And every time I hear these things in spaces from other people, and I'm thinking about something that I haven't brought up, it shows, damn, Mar, you're like, okay, you're not going crazy. You're thinking right, because others are thinking like you. And yeah, man, that's the whole game right there. Control the top coins, and once you control them, you bring fear into those small, low market cap projects, and you're basically in control. But don't think these guys also have their they're looking at these small projects and the tech behind it too. And it all takes like one switch, just like when Elon Musk spoke about Dutch, or it takes his BlackRock or any of these institutions just to name or get a contract with one of these projects or companies out there. But going back, I know some people, they say, you know what, we don't need the politics. Bitcoin did what it did back in 2020, but remember, guys, even though XRP was taken to court, back in 2020, crypto wasn't targeted like it is now. Back in 2020, people were not talking. It was out there, but you didn't hear everyone just talk about, oh, it's a scam. Mostly like just people didn't understand it, even though there were scams, But once the space hit 1 trillion, 2 trillion, the government started panicking at least, started saying, oh shit, maybe our experiment blew up on our faces, And now we got to start taking control, because there's money to be made, there's taxes to collect. So that's why all this war was basically just brought up. It blew up in their faces, and it blew up during a time that they just had no time to deal with it, which was during COVID. And I got to go back also to the U.S. Like 20-30% of the whole crypto market is in the U.S. I want to believe it, but I don't, that the U.S. is behind in crypto and the tech. I don't think so, man. These guys are great at chess. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the top 5 players of all time in the world were Americans playing chess. So, man, they're just good at the game. They're acting like they're behind, probably because they just want to, like I said, they want to slow it down. And look how they've done it already with ETFs. And I truly don't believe, I truly believe that the U.S. is ahead of any country when it comes to crypto. They're just not showing it yet, man. And once they do, they'll come out with a bang, and we'll be like, holy shit. And a lot of us won't like it, because there'll be a lot of regulations, And at the end, man, these companies could say all they want, but they're building. They're building, and the U.S. are letting them build, And they're just slowing things down, man, because that's just their game, and they just want to be in control. Look what they did with gold back in the days. If you guys saw that video, they were printing more dollars than what they were holding value of gold. So it's just crazy. These guys, they got the smartest people in the world working for them. They are not all Americans, but they hire the smartest people around the whole world, man. And that's the thing when I tell you guys, the U.S. is ahead. It's not just, the pure breed American. These guys got the money. they'll hire the smartest, Germans, Italians, whatever the hell, from India. They got the smartest people, man. Best chess players, And I truly don't believe, that they are behind in crypto. They're making it us think that, but they got their cards, man, and hopefully something good comes out of, and I think regulations will fix a few stuff. You want to get rid of, cut down at least on all these frauds and all these scams, and start putting people more into jail or getting them more, at least in trouble, with all the scams that are going on. But yeah, other than that, man, crypto wasn't targeted. So your vote, it's important in these elections. My vote, you all know what is going for Trump. I trust him more when it comes to crypto. I'm not bearish on Harris, but I just think it will grow more slowly. It will take more time, and I'm just more bullish with Trump. At least for now. His son just talking about crypto, and it's gonna be an insane November. I'll tell you what. And with my opinion, no financial advice. I think we're gonna have a great late September, great October before election. We're gonna have a nice pump on crypto, especially if we see Trump, with the numbers showing that he's more ahead, or at least, whatever these numbers are. And one last thing I do want to say, Zach, I was, I'm not too much into politics, but I forgot the name, but I was reading that all these numbers you guys see where Trump is behind 3%, 2% of all these different, channels or whatever it is, the most precise one is the gambling one, whatever you call it. I forget the name of it. The one where people actually gamble to who's going to be president is the one that has been the most precise the last few elections. So that's, that's crazy. And that's the one that's not being manipulated, in other words,
Yeah, I never put too much stock in polls. I mean, it's like they always leave so much data out. Like, who are you polling? Like, that's a big one. Like a lot of times they leave the sample size out. How many people did you poll? Like, what I mean? They just throw numbers. Like, you can make numbers say whatever you want them to say, So yeah, I never put too much stock in that. Trump never was leading in any polls when, he won in 2016. But, speaking of kind of the election real quick, and I want to keep the conversation rolling, I thought this was interesting. So Biden won the popular vote by 7 million votes in 2020 across some key states, Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin, the three states whose electoral votes contributed to Biden's win the most. Again, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin. Biden won by fewer than 45,000 votes. That's how tight the election was. Now, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind and think about this. There's supposedly an estimated 50 million Bitcoin and crypto holders in the United States. Interesting, right? So the fact that people will say, hey, this isn't a big deal, people don't care. Now, the question is, how many of those 50 million Bitcoin and crypto holders actually care so much about crypto that they'll vote? And, do they weigh that higher than abortion or gun laws? That's what you can't really unravel and unpack again. But it's interesting that it was that tight in 2020. And I think there are a lot of people in crypto that really do have kind of a libertarian approach, that are kind of swing voters. There are a lot of people who I meet in crypto that aren't necessarily drinking the red or blue Kool-Aid, right? But they're more about, the things that they care about the most, and freedom, and, having the ability to do what they want to do with their money, and these sort of things, right? After all, crypto was started, with a big libertarian movement. So I think it's interesting. I mean, when you kind of look at it by the numbers and how big crypto could really be here, in this upcoming election.
And Zach, real quick, man, let's just forget about crypto for now. I mean, we all know Donald Trump is good with the economy, man. And for me, that's just that's the big one, man. And I'll be shocked if he loses, because, man, we need to do something about these prices. I have the money. I have the money to go and pay $7 for the, I mean, like I said, I go back to what I said earlier. I went to the supermarket and I bought these vegetables that normally are like $1 or $2. And I asked the lady in the supermarket where I was, Publix, I said, man, how much was this 3-4 years ago? Because I know you've been working here for a long time. You know, I've seen the before, and she's like, you know, normally when I go to the supermarkets, I go buy a soda or a pastry. I don't go to the vegetable section. My wife normally does the shopping for that, and she's like, it's like $1.50. And for me, it's all about the economy, you know, and I just think Donald Trump, I'm more bullish. I'm more better with the economy when it comes to Trump. And look, one of the signs, guys, out there, and I'm not trying to get you, you know, you vote to whatever you believe in. Trump said about cutting taxes on tips. And all of a sudden now Harris says that a month later. You can see how now she's trying to copy him. Not to say she's copying him, but this man just knows what to say. And one thing is to say and to do it. But at the end, I just think the economy is just going to be better because he's a businessman. And one rumor, there's a rumor out there. I don't know if it's true. It's been out. I've seen it on X, being posted a few times that BlackRock, it's going to endorse Donald Trump, and that would be just huge, right? That there would actually tell me who the next president is if that is actually true and it does happen.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to keep in mind too, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty right now leading up to an election. And the markets, if we know one thing, they don't like uncertainty. They don't like when things are left to chance or just left up in the air. So I think there is like a growing kind of idea that I agree with, like after the election, no matter what happens, that some of that uncertainty subsides and maybe we get the big altcoin boom that we've been waiting for, you know? I will say this, if we don't get an altcoin boom, that's going to be scary because we know that ETFs are maybe even hindering the altcoin market and they're keeping it down a little bit. We've kind of talked a little bit about that, but maybe we're just that early in this cycle too, right? So, I mean, I think we were talking about this last week. It's like until the 4-year cycles are debunked, why should we think that they're no longer, you know, here? I know we've got ETFs and it's a little different environment, but I mean, until the 4-year cycles are debunked, why should we think anything else? Supers, I want to get to you and then we'll get to Crypto Postman and Clifford.
Damn, well, you got my mind going a million miles an hour. I love the input from everyone. I'm a super big advocate of the 4-year cycles, especially with all of the senseless printing that's been going on since the creation of Bitcoin. It shows just how important it is to actually have like some sort of standard thing. And I don't know who's been here a couple cycles or not, but everything used to be compared to Bitcoin actually, and how many Satoshis like something was worth and stuff like that. And it wasn't until like maybe 8-10 years ago that people started like really looking at USD value. But as all this printing occurs, then like it makes less sense to use the US dollar as like something that we compare things to because it's not a stable asset like Bitcoin is. So anyways, that's the meta. I'm a big fan of the 4-year advocate. In terms of polls, there's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics. It's a Mark Twain quote. You can make a statistic say pretty much everything. And my hot take for the day, I think the U.S. needs crypto more than crypto needs the U.S. And it's definitely mutually beneficial to lead adoption in crypto for the U.S. If we want to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum are maybe 70% of the market cap of the entire space. But in terms of 24-hour volume, Tether, it does the same amount of volume as the top 10 non-tethered coins combined. Like 24-hour volume on Tether right now is 50 billion. Bitcoin itself is at like 29 billion, Ethereum at 12.5 billion. And those are like 80% of the volume for crypto in general. So, but that are non like USDC peg things. So actually like for politicians to be anti-crypto is kind of crazy because it's sort of what is saving the US dollar. Like, so many people are using Tether or the US dollar or USDC pegged system to get in and out of crypto. So like, it's actually kind of oxymoronic to be against it, because crypto could end up being something that saves the US government, our balance sheets, etc., as Trump sort of highlighted. So I just wanted to point out some of those things, a little controversial about the US needs crypto more than crypto needs the US. And yeah, like, let's just not forget all the volume that goes in through USDT and USDC respectively. So just want to throw those out there.
Oh, that's good stuff, man. Appreciate that. Crypto Postman, what do you got, man?
Morning, Zach. Too many topics you guys came up with today. It's a great show. To start with, politics, presidents, doesn't matter like everybody keeps saying. It really doesn't. I mean, Trump's saying he's pro-crypto, but we don't know. The October surprise, as Barkoshi brought up, could be Harris coming out saying she's pro-crypto. We don't know. I mean, anything's possible. What we do know is, unless we get rid of the old politicians, and I hate picking on senior citizens because I'm technically one being 60, these old guys that have been in politics forever and a day, they're the ones that are against crypto. They've got all their bank money in the stock market and all that. They haven't figured out how to manipulate yet. I do agree with you as well as what they're doing with Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs. That's 70%. That's their way to shut us down. But remember, we ain't going to move forward unless we get rid of the old people. So voting for presidents are great. Voting for Senate and congressmen, that's where we can take over for the crypto market. We get the people that are against us out. Then we can start moving forward. I mean, and as far as like what's going on for the Q4, they're going to do 3 rate cuts between October through December. That wasn't said in July. That wasn't said in June and all that other stuff. It was looking like we might get lucky to get 1. Now they're going to do 3. They're going to, like Barkoshi also brought up, I believe, was what they're going to do going into the election to try to make the Democratic side look better. And that's just the way they always have done it. I mean, every time going into a presidential election, they try to make the incumbents look better than what they really were. And Mar, you're 1,000% right. I go shopping in a grocery store, and $150 for 3 bags of food that cost me $50 is bullcrap. Trump is a better president for the economy. Whether or not remains to be seen if he'll be the better one for crypto. And remember, even in Bitcoin Nashville, he was told what to say. It's not something he looked up. It's something somebody looked up for him. His cabinet will make the decisions. He just signs the checks. It's great. And that's just it. We got to start at the state level and our local city level if we want to have any change in crypto whatsoever, because that's where the real change starts and begins. I mean, we are ahead of the game. We are behind the ball. China is going to beat us eventually, and other countries are, because they are adopting it better and faster. We are still probably better off than we think because they don't ever tell us what they really know. I mean, when automation came in, everybody screamed, oh, we're all going to lose our jobs. We're all going to lose our jobs. Some jobs were lost. Other jobs were built. That's the same thing that's going to go on with AI. AI, it's going to be a different form of being a doctor or a different form of being a mechanic. I mean, you got it every day. And Clifford brought up about his delivery guy. Well, I am actually a postman. When they came out with emails, everybody told us we were going to lose our jobs to emails. I still work. I worked 10 hours yesterday. I'll be working tomorrow on my day off. There's mail delivery didn't change. It just changed the volume. We adapt. Everything about this country, everything about human beings as a whole is adoption. We get struck with a problem, an issue, we solve it, we move on, we move forward. We never go back. I mean, we'll stumble, the old story of 1 step forward, 2 step back, but you're learning as you go the 2 steps back. So you may take 1 step forward, the 2 steps back you take will be different.
I just had to remove him. Go ahead.
So much here to unravel. You know, and it's good that you have these shows like this, Zach, because you get the different people's opinions and stuff like that. I mean, you listen to Matasko and what he has to say, or Barkoshi, or you, or Zach from Subway, or even Paid, you know, with his traveling stuff that's funny and humorous. But the serious nature of it is, where do we go from here, and how do we continue to move forward when the odds are against us right now, because governments don't want us to succeed because they like the pies that they got and created it. That's why they have so much division in our country right now. The more they can keep us divided, the more they can do what they want to do. You know, if it's black, if it's white, if it's green, or if it's red, that's how they keep us separated. And they continue to do what they do through the back doors and the back channels. They're always doing something. They probably hold more crypto and have more knowledgeable people in crypto than any of us can even imagine. You know, but like Mars says, I'm going to land this plane because I got to get back to delivering mail.
Great insights, man. Much, much appreciated. Love it. Clifford, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to follow that up. I was just going to say the thought that I had that I forgot last time I spoke was, let's say AI does take off and it does change roles for humans quite a bit. I think Monka S brought it up a little earlier as far as more people getting into crypto. The only problem with that is if AI does have the ability to do that, and that is the route that we decide to take as a society. The only way for people that aren't physically able to have a more labor-intensive job to make money, you know, with a paycheck, let's say if AI is doing deliveries, all this type of stuff, normal jobs, right? Your stock people at grocery stores have been replaced by robots that can do the same job type of thing. I think the only way that people really will be able to have an income would probably be moving to a universal based income, where, you know, basically the government would be paying your paycheck. And if that's the case, probably it would probably depend on what city and state you live in by how much you would receive. And I would imagine there wouldn't be much money left over to invest into crypto. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And I always try to look at this from an opposing view. But that's my thought with that. And hopefully that doesn't happen. And much like crypto, AI needs regulation as well. So, you know, we've got two fronts there that, you know, like Crypto Post just spoke about, you know, voting for your local government, state, congressmen, senators, that sort of thing is going to be very, very important. And if you need help looking up pro-crypto candidates, check out Stand With Crypto. And they have a X page and everything like that. And they actually have something where you can put in your zip code and it will pull up pro-crypto candidates that they know of in your area. So if you need help voting for those type of people or looking them up, that's a good way to do it. So appreciate it, Zach.
I just did want to say your universal basic income is going to be spent on crypto. Everybody else is going to live off credit cards. That 19 to 30% APR is just going to keep racking up. That one gets maxed out. They're going to find another person to approve them for the next one. And that basic income, just like all the stimmy checks, are going straight into the market, baby. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love it. Yeah, I used to be totally against the whole idea, but I think, honestly, and I'm not an expert here, obviously. I don't have all the information and data in front of me. But on some level, like, if you would cut all the crazy government programs that are not needed, that it could actually somewhat work. I mean, I'll take this for example. The state of California has a whole division that fights homelessness. There's a stat out there. if you just took that whole thing away, and by the way, these people are getting crazy salaries, like $200,000, $300,000. If you just cut the whole thing, you could house 70% of the homeless people in California. If you got rid of the agency that's quote unquote fighting homelessness, 70% of the homeless people would have homes. So, I mean, there's so much BS and there's so much unneeded spending on these type of programs that if you started to unravel all of it, who knows, you might even have enough to do some form of basic income. And then you know what? Everybody's okay, they can live, but if you want something more, you want to work harder, you want more out of life, then okay, do something else. If you don't, you have enough to survive. I used to be totally against it, but I think it could be interesting. You know, but the whole idea of that also, you got to put it in context. The United States is the third largest country in the world. You know, it's why this argument I hear all the time, I know we're going off the rails here a little bit, I'll bring it back. But this argument all the time, you know, why can't we have free healthcare like Canada? Well, it's a lot easier said than done when, you know, you're a fraction of the population. You know what I mean? You can do a lot more with less people.
Doctors deserve more, man.
Yeah, real quick, just never forget this. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
I knew he was a Fed. I could feel it. Oh, my gosh. I got to go. I'll see you guys later.
Hey, bringing it back to crypto, though, I came across this article. I think this is a good one, and I want to get to everybody else with their hand up here, too. Just kind of, I like this because it's just a longer-term outlook. So we talked about uncertainty with the elections. Regardless, a lot of people are in the camp that we're going to get some type of move. And there's 5 reasons that Market Watch outlined, which I like. You know, as we head into Q4 and into 2025, a lot of people are in the camp of regardless who's in, there's going to be certainty with whoever the president is, and we're going to get some type of crypto bull run. I mean, the peak of it, right? And everything going up. 5 reasons why you'd be in that camp. I thought this was an interesting list. ETF approvals, right? Again, we got to remember, like, this isn't a one-off catalyst. It's not a one-time thing. People are still, the inflows are still coming in. You know, there's still a lot of people coming in every single day. So that's obviously opening the door for institutional investors, extremely bullish, way more accessible. Crypto's way more accessible now to the TradFi people. They're going to consistently make, you know, plays in the market through ETFs. That's good. Anticipated Federal Reserve rate cuts. I think Crypto Postman talked about that. You know, I've said this and I agree. You know, it's a Band-Aid. It doesn't fix the problem completely. Like, we need surgery. And not just a quick fix, but regardless, I think it'll pump the markets in Q4 and Q1. And then we also just have a changing of the guard when it comes to like a generation that, you know, they're not investing in gold anymore, right? They're looking at Bitcoin. They're looking at alternative ways to make money. You know, if you're a young individual in your 30s and 40s or even younger, you know, where are you looking? You know, where are you investing? Obviously, crypto, right? So that's a longer term, long tail catalyst there. And then obviously we've just got the emergence of new technology and new solutions and new applications. I think, Mar, we've talked about this before, and all of us have. You know, who's going to have that one app or that super app or that one thing that just changes? Who's going to be the Google of blockchain? Is it already here yet, or has it not been created? You know, who's going to be the Facebook? You know, who's going to change the game?
Let me tell you a little bit about Grub Fun.
Let's go. Let's go.
And then lastly, about Shib Social.
Let's go. Let's go.
Very true.
And lastly, one other thing, and this is just capping off their list here. You know, just the whole idea that fiat currencies and the printing of money just doesn't work. And I mean, over time, it's just going to become more and more evident and, you know, right in front of your face that, hey, this is the idea for a quote unquote reset and a new way of doing things. So I think that's much, much longer term, but we are heading in that direction, right? But Wolf Tools, go ahead. I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, I know you were trying to reset, but I was going to take it kind of back to politics. My apologies.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. 100%.
So, like you, I was against universal income, but Andrew Yang actually had UI proposals that actually got me very interested.
Agreed.
Where, yeah, so yeah, you heard about this, where like all these corporations that steal your metadata and profit off of it would have to pay the government with that money, and then the government would send out a UI to the populace. So it was funded by these corporations that were stealing your data, and I could get behind that. And then the other point that you made about the U.S. being so big, I think that's where the U.S. fails when they start thinking about universal health care and all this, is they do it with a centralized vision. So they want all the money to go from the states to the federal government, and then the federal government give it out to these states. But if you look at our tax code, everybody is taxed pretty much the same on the federal level, just depends on their income. But if you look at like California, a family of four that makes $120,000 a year is considered to be in the poverty level. And then someone in Kentucky only making, $30,000 a year, or I think it's $15,000 a year, is considered in the poverty level. So what you're doing is and then the federal government says anyone that makes $100,000 a year gets taxed this amount. So now you're taking money from a poor family in California, making them even poorer, and then giving them to someone else in a different state. The centralized way of taxation is not the way to go, in my opinion. And that's one reason I'm really big on crypto, because it is bringing that decentralized finance thinking to the world. So sorry, Zach, for kind of taking it back to politics, but I thought it was something kind of important to get out there.
You did a full round trip and brought it back to crypto right at the end. I love it. Let's go to Mar and then Supers.
No, Zach, going back, I know that someone mentioned Motasco, which I'm very disappointed today in the Breakfast Club. I think Motasco only spoke for 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on. Who knows what the hell he's up to right now, or he's reading. But, people like Motasco, he always has a hidden message behind every time he speaks. And what's his hidden message, if you haven't gotten it? Do your own research. Study what you're about to invest or what you're about to speak about. Just whenever I bring up a project, or Zach or anyone brings up a project, we're not telling you to buy, we're telling you, hey, we're looking at it, look at it, and then make up your mind if you want to invest on it. A meme coin, going to the Telegram, see if it's pumping, if the community, the atmosphere, just everything. Then we could get into projects, that are building utility, and it might take you weeks to study it and get into it. Because at the end, Zach, even if people say, short-term crypto at the end, it's long-term. Just look at Bitcoin. If you would have held the Bitcoin since 2009, 2012, just look at it. With all the crazy dips and corrections, whatever you want to call it, dumps, it's all about holding long-term. And why is it important for you guys not to just jump into something and study? Is because by studying it and understanding it, brings out more strength in you to hold that project or that meme coin, whatever it is, long term. And that's why I'm very disappointed into Motasco today, only speaking for 5 minutes, because he always brings out the knowledge and just everything. And if you also notice, it's always about holding, and he always begs people, hold, especially Shiba, hold it. Not financial advice, but hold the long term, and it will pay off eventually. But, people always want to get rich quick, and that's just the story right now of crypto, because all the storylines out there of people making millions of Shiba in a few days when it pumped or Dutch or whatever it is. But the one big question I have, Zach, I don't know if you asked this to yourself. If Donald Trump gets elected, how long is it going to take, if it happens, for these damn exchanges like KuCoin to be tradable again here in the U.S. You know, KuCoin, MEXC, Bitmart, I mean, the whole thing, you know. Are we going to go back to the days where we could go back in and trade in these exchanges? Because, you know, we all talk about we're all decentralized, but come on, guys, you know, the trading right now, at least for now, it's on exchanges. Just much, at least for me, it's much easier to read. And you talk about an app that's coming. You know, the apps are built. I think they're built. They're ready. They're ready. They, you know, for the grandpa to go in there and buy. They just regulations have been holding it back. But man, one exchange, and I know we hate this exchange, but I'm bullish on Robinhood. And for me, Robinhood is just the easiest. I mean, you go in there, you deposit your cash, and you buy. I mean, I could see Robinhood like just rocketing with crypto if they at least, you know, list at least the top 100, you know, the top 200 coins in there. I mean, just look at Robinhood. It's so easy, man. It's so easy to go in there and buy crypto. I know it's centralized. You know, we're all, you know, want to be decentralized, but whoever, you know, I'll take it. I'll take 5% more of crypto users if they're going to get centralized. Just, you know, let's just grow the space no matter what. At least it's a start, you know?
I think, yeah, go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead, man.
I just want to jump on what Mar was saying. I agree. Like, I think we give centralized exchanges a lot of heat, but at the end of the day, they do most of the onboarding. You know, I've been in the space for a while, and most people I know that have been in the space, we've all gotten started, and new people, same thing with centralized exchanges. So definitely, I'm bullish on them in general, and good luck to anyone creating a centralized exchange in the U.S. And then real quickly, because Mutasco's here, so I'll let him take the stage. But healthcare, U.S., we spend like 17% of our GDP on it, and we suffer from chronic diseases and trying to treat them acutely. So that's my opinion on where a lot of the money goes. But anyways, what I actually came up here to say was, you know, vote at the polls, of course, or with your delegates, right to them. But then you really vote in the U.S., especially with your dollars and your attention. You know, wherever you spend your money, whatever businesses you give your money to, those are the ones lobbying in Congress and getting actual laws written and passed. And then your attention, you know, if you don't have the means or the money to do it, your data is still worth something. And wherever you know, like, comment, retweet, all that stuff, what you say, that stuff matters, and it pushes stuff in the algorithm and, you know, makes a big difference. So vote, of course, with your delegates and dollars and attention.
That's great. Thanks. Yeah, it's very great, you know, because, you know, definitely regarding the vote, you know, because you have to choose right now, or vote for a party who like CBDCs and centralized money. Because now, you know, the paradigm of money changed. Now the money is smart with the smart contract. So they can do whatever they want with your money. Or we have a second choice, decentralized money, Bitcoin, folks. So made the right choice, folks, for the US, but also for the world. Because a lot of countries are going to follow if you choose CBDCs. And we don't want CBDCs.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we got about 7 minutes left in this space. Great one today, guys. Much appreciated. I know it's a little bit, I don't know, what's the word, more serious than normal, but I just felt like it was necessary with everything that was going on with the rumors with Harris, and we're getting closer and closer to the election. And it's fun to talk about meme coins too, but every once in a while, you know, I like to switch it up and talk about different topics. And I think, man, it was a great one today. A lot of different voices. I want to get to Mutasco here. We got about 6-7 minutes left. So, Mar, look at that. You forced Mutasco back up on stage.
No, dude, I have four back-to-back meetings, okay? So I knew that. So on the way to the office, I called. I got on the mic, and then, you know, my company got acquired, kind of a big merger, one of the largest defense companies in the UK. So the time kind of shifts a little bit when you're in the US and you have to be on a call with people in the UK. You know what that means. So, man, I'm like fried. That's why. So it's not for any reason. If I have time, for sure, I'll be up here and I'll be blabbing. I love your spaces, Zach. And I like how you took it today. It's almost like everything. We're talking about everything, and that's very good. The one thing I came up to comment, though, and I've been trying to get you to have a chat with you privately, but I'm going to say something in a very cryptic way here. I wanted to say yesterday, but you know, there wasn't enough time. There's a book by Michael Sandel. He's a professor, I think, in one of the elite colleges, I believe. His name is Michael Sandel. He has other books, but this one was a good one, which I will encourage anybody that wants to read can go read it. It says a lot of things that we were talking about here. And the mistakes that we might be making, actually. I think the title is The Tyranny of Merit. It's a great book. The Tyranny of Merit, and it kind of reminds us all. And the reason why I'm referencing the book is that that's why I don't like to get into the politics side by side. No, I don't care. Like, as long as I have crypto and I have the ability to learn and educate myself on it and empower myself, sign me on. Taking me into the alleyway on these political highways, no. But the reason why I'm referencing it is fiat has its whales, okay? There are visible whales and there are invisible whales, and they dictate everything, okay? In crypto, we're beginning to create that same. When you were playing Jeremy's recording, the Circle guy, I followed the guy for a while. Very experienced, very sound mind guy, but he's part of what I would call the invisible fiat whale infrastructure. The danger that we may end up with is when we start to say this guy is better than this guy is gonna do this. No. The very basis of crypto is for us to have the ability to think, invest, and make money. And the risk of us trying to choose who is better or that is that it creates this problem of, I think the best way to look at it is if we unite, we stand. If we if we're not united, we will divide ourselves, right? So the politicians and the media finds a way to create division, and that division is our downfall. We literally fall. Think about crypto, right? Once people, who's Satoshi Nakamoto? Who knows him, right? But once people decided, oh yeah, we are Bitcoin maxis, so they created this kind of division, then people started falling away, right? And the center cannot hold, right? In Africa, we have things fall apart. It reminds me, if you have to pass the English language, you have to literally read that book. But it reminds me of that, and I think this is why it's very difficult to corner me in any kind of thing, because it's just frustrating, right? And I know it's like some people have this short-term agenda, interests, whatever. Generally, the huge blessing that we have is that we have enough resources, enough opportunities to explore without having to depend on these crazy guys. Let me give you an example. There's a guy called Reggie Middleton. This guy literally, and I think, Zach, you were mentioning it, the fact that the SEC is weaponizing the agency to go after good actors is what you need to know about how evil the space is. Now, since somebody was also talking about the generational gap that we have in our legislature, right? It's huge because, like you said about the Democrats' platform, you read the whole thing and it's depressing. You're like, how in the hell do we have a political party that for some reason, they could say logistical reasons, we can't fit in this and that, whatever, who cares? The fact that they're not even addressing the biggest AI blockchain, big deal. And they know it. But it goes to what I said about we have invisible fiat whales and we have visible fiat whales. How they have been able to keep the institutions in the state of extractive designs is because the basis of the fiat whale business model is about secrets, okay? Keep everything outside. Don't let everybody know, because that's how we extract value from them. So the moment you make it transparent, that whole secret source is gone. That is the basis of Wall Street, okay? Crypto flipped it the other way around. Yeah, transparency, collaboration, everything actually pushes innovation forward. And the thing we don't want to mess up.
There is no secrecy, bro.
What was that?
There is no secrecy about fiat wars. We know, everyone know who are the wars in the fiat world. It's the U.S. government. And then you have all the subtractors, you know, the big companies.
I can't even see the person talking.
Bro, yes. And the big companies who are making huge money with that, and the banksters.
I agree with you.
We know all who are the big wars. And of course, we can say they are evils or whatever, but they are, you know, defending their interest. And the world is like that. The world is like, you know, I'm not a complotist or stuff like that, but, you know, in the world, you know, there is different, you know, interests. Government, companies, peoples, even individuals. We are all interested. So that's why, you know, basically when you talk about secrecy, of course, yeah, there is some secrecy, and we don't have, we are not in the secret of gods. But the things, you know, 80%, maybe 90%, you know, is clear, crystal clear, and is public. So for me, you know, now, of course, when you say about the wars of the fiats, but the difference between Bitcoin and fiat, you know, I think with Bitcoin we get a better balance, and you know, we can't play easy with, in government can't play easy with the money as it's doing right now. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I don't know.
No, you're right.
Frankly, but the thing is, you know, the world is limited. Of course, you know, nobody thinks like that, but and the money have to be limited as well. The resources are limited. We are more and more people around the world. Everybody wants to be rich, blah, 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 etc. But the things, in the end, is always the same, bro. Even we are, you know, 10 billion, 20 billion, there is only always the same 1% super rich. And the numbers stay the same, bro. But anyway, I like what you are saying, bro. So go ahead. But for sure, you know, Bitcoin is going this way, and from now, we can see in the U.S. election today, crypto is taking, you know, his share. Bitcoin is taking his share, and now we are going in a new era, the era of Bitcoin, of crypto. Of course, there is now a very big war between the fiats, you know, walls and crypto walls, and all the interest and the blockchain around, etc. So the world changing, the financial and monetary paradigm changing. It's hard. It's very hard. We are in a very, very hard transition right now. But we're gonna pass away like before. You know, there's so much example in this story. Like you know, for the money, but not only. But you know, time will tell, bro.
No, you have a chance right now to be aware of the new asset class, which is crypto. So I think that was kind of my point. You're right. You know, and so nobody should, you know, demean themselves and think they don't have the resource. That's what we always talk about here. And the funny thing is, everybody in the world, people think people are like not smart enough or knowledgeable enough or whatever, which is all kind of a meme, a big giant meme by the media, because people are actually really smart, okay? Because they know exactly what this scam is. And so the message is always that, hey, we're here now, we're learning about this technology, we're early. What do we do about it? We just accumulate and sit on it, just like they're doing. So again, at some point in the future, if we're not the whales, our kids will be, and we pass it on. It's a generational shift that will happen. I was referencing Reggie Middleton, an entrepreneur, right? A smart guy. He has a lot of patents. I was in his space 3 days ago. I think it was Monday. I don't know when. He was in a space, and I asked him a question. And this is to you, Zach, because Ma brought a company I think you met in Toronto. It's Next Chain. And, you know, I think Reggie settled at $9-point-something million with the SEC. He knows the SEC very well. And it was about his company he founded. It's called Veritasium. And they had this project called Populous. Populous is like a similar model that Max Chain is trying to build. This is actually why, Ma, when you mentioned it, I got really interested in it because it's a model that works. The problem, though, with when you learn about who Reggie Middleton is that he was too smart for his own good, because he was very transparent about what he's building. And at the time, we're not here now, because if you look at when he was building, it was very early. The banks always use what they use, bully you out by using the proxy, which is the agencies, to get you shut down. They just have to say you're corrupt, okay? And they'll get you out. And what this guy has gone through is despicable. But it's not only him. There's a lot of really innovators in this space that have gotten shut down. This is why we can't tell who Satoshi Nakamoto is, right? So we can all be loud about this, but this is serious business. And this is why I said, when united we stand, divided we fall. And if we can't come together, and this is why I also reference Michael Sandel's book, because he talks about the common good. These people not that they don't know what the common good is, the common good to them is to their own selfish club members, okay? And that is the problem that I think, I don't remember his name, but he wrote a book. And when I read the book, this is the longest book I ever read. It's called Why Nations Fail, right? He talks about extractive versus inclusive institutions. Exactly what he described about what extractive institutions are is what the U.S. is today. In fact, somebody wrote an op-ed about, is the U.S. drifting into an extractive state? Look it up and read it. It tells a lot about what we talk about here in crypto spaces. This is a big fight, and the only way we can win is not to, if I see you in this space, oh my gosh, you're my friend, you're in the same team, okay? Because if you're in crypto, we're in the same team. I don't care if you belong to a project A, project Z. The moment we stop being like, oh yeah, I'm better than you, I'm that, then the division kicks in, and then we fall apart. And then they come in and gobble it up and take it away, okay? That's what's going to happen. And sadly, a lot of people are going to miss out, okay? Go look up Reggie Middleton, the Max Chain, and like I said, Zach, I was actually really impressed because when you see people that have foresight, it's very difficult to have foresight. You're building a content platform that I believe if you, because that's the future, right? You educate, you entertain, and inspire. But what you get to build a brand on is the quality of your stories. And I think you're building that. And that's why I'm always hanging out here and learning. Because when you mentioned you met Max Chain and you were impressed about what they're building, I could tell because I'm aligned with what they're trying to build. It's a solution that is needed. Just to give you an idea, the entire invoice factoring market is growing close to about $5 trillion, okay? So before you go into an industry, you ask, what's the size of the addressable market? And that's what we're looking at. So if Max Chain figures it out right, they're going to make a lot of money. It's not about, oh, number go up. No, that's not what it is. It's about who else have you impacted in the value chain, okay? And they're talking about trackers and all. I've read a lot about what they've done. I'm just waiting to find a more feasible opportunity to hang out with them and chat, and because this is all about conviction buying. You build your knowledge base, you buy based on your conviction, and you hodl, because you know that if it gets executed right, you win big time. This is what's happened with everyone. Jeremy won on USDC because he never gave up. He just kept building and building and building until it made sense. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, yeah, the stable coins can actually save the dollar. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that because they said it's pegged to the US dollar, right? So if you print out a billion stable coin, you need fiat to back it. So what does that mean? That's demand for fiat. So we just have to help each other, right? Again, these spaces are very, very important because it gives you that independent thinking mind to know that there's a lot out there. I'll leave you with this. There's an African school model. It's called Alt School Africa. Just go look it up. Just go look it up and then read about why it's important, okay? Because, you can learn anything, data science, engineering, everything. Just sign up. So it's not about limitation. It's about access. And I think technology provides that access. Then you have older people, okay? I'm not against anybody being old, but if you're old, give up the keys. It's hard to take these keys from these people. They keep holding the keys, And what they're doing is they're creating stumble blocks against the younger people, right? Technology is here. Let it go. They won't let it go. Okay, these people sit in Congress and Senate and just throw out some crazy jobs. And you're like, really? You're representing people. And it's about economic prosperity. Do you really mean what you're saying? You don't. And it's a big lie. And the way you shun the lie is to get out there, learn,
100%, bro.
And get out there.
100%, bro.
But please, find a time to give Max Chain a platform, because I want to learn more about what they're actually trying to build. It's actually really innovative. And I reference Populous. You can go look up Populous, and literally what they were trying to do. Okay, the SEC shut them down. Okay, so I wish them the best of luck, but I think they have a very innovative use case, and tapping into that to come through your platform and your content platform will be a great thing. Thank you, Zach.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate everybody for being here. We are going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We will be back tomorrow. You guys already know, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We do these spaces all the time. So I see some new faces in here. Definitely would welcome you back and help spread the word about what we've got going on here with our space Monday through Friday for 2 hours, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I usually do go live for about an hour or half hour before on YouTube and X, and we stream these X spaces on YouTube Live and X Live too. So shout out to all, looks like 700 plus people listening right now to us over there. Thank you all so much for, we can't see you in the space, but they're listening in and taking in the information too. And thanks to everybody on the actual space. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day. And thanks again to everybody who spoke and listened in. We'll see you tomorrow.